Voices rise where the tales are spun. A webcast hums like a beating drum. Chicago bears where the hearts come from. Bare their souls, let the stories flow. Through the airwaves where the feelings grow. Echoes of passion they'll always show. In the city shadow where the winds blow. Drearing dreams in the fields of green. Talking legends and the plays unseen. Every word strikes like a lightning beam. The bears and the fans, they're the ultimate team. The pulse of the city's pride. Electric beats as the hearts collide. A digital space where love won't hide. For the bears, we're all along for the ride. Bare their souls, let the stories flow. Through the airways where the feelings grow. Echoes of passion, they'll always show. In the city shadow where the winds blow. The mic's alive and the rhythm's tight. Voices dance in the neon light. Sharing tales that ignite the night. Chicago bears forever inside.
Welcome, everyone, to a new chapter in the history of Bare Their Souls, a show that Dan Aguirre and I started several years ago, and things change over time, and we continue to look for ways to accommodate for people that we've lost, but also look for new, interesting ways to tell the story of the Chicago Bears. And I'm really, really proud to announce that we have a new co-host for Bare Their Souls. We've made some changes recently, and this could be the biggest one because I'm really looking forward to talking ball with this gentleman. And one of the things that we want to do with Bare Their Souls is use music more to tell the story of the Chicago Bears and to tell the story of what's going on here at the barroom. So I can think of no better way to introduce our new co-host on Bare Their Souls than to play this song.
Bears fan that's also a very wise man. Danikin. His name is Danikin. You're damn right.
His clever football takes will make you slam your brakes.
Word up. Can you dig it? Who's the cat that brings style and class and is never an ass? Danikin. His name is Danikin. Right on.
They say this cat has a great sense of style. Paying attention is worth your while.
I hear that. I hear that. He talks about the Bears like no one else can. And he's about to break down the game plan. Danikin. His name is Danikin. Sit up and put down the pipe. You about to see why all the hype. Danikin. His name is Danikin. Danikin. His name is Danikin.
His name is Danikin, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bar Room, brother. I am so excited to have you as part of the Bar Room Network. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm looking forward to this all week. I've been looking forward to it for a while, man. It's that video was awesome. That video was dope.
Thank you, man. Well, you and I have been working behind the scenes on a couple of things. We're going to start every week, Bare Their Souls, 30 minutes, just you and I talking Bears. And one of the things that we came up with is I saw that you posted 5 thoughts after that last preseason game. And I go, that's a great way to start this first 30 minutes. So that's what we're going to do, right?
Yes, sir.
I love it. And so one of the things that I want to talk about to begin with is about you personally. You told me how you got the name Danikin, how you came up with that. Why don't you share that with the audience?
Well, it's kind of a play. You know what I mean? It's a play on Star Wars a little bit, right? So, of course, my name is Daniel, Dan. A lot of people call me Dan, Danny, Daniel, whatever. But we mashed Danikin because of Anakin Skywalker, right? So, you got good, you got bad, you know what I mean? I'm going to give good, I'm going to give bad takes. Danikin is the name. Let's get it. You know what I mean?
I love it. I know we got a lot of Star Wars fans at the bar room and in the chat, so that's going to be really cool to interact with them on that. J2K is giving you a shout out on the hat. Aunt Mass and Heidi and everyone else is in the chat and ready for us to get into ball. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears. And then before we start the show with the rest of the guys, I want to know a little bit more about you and some of your personal stuff that you want to share with the audience. But first, let's talk ball. What happened during this roster cutdown that surprised you the most?
Man, it's hard to say what really surprised me because a lot of things went kind of the way that I was feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing that did surprise me is they only kept 3 running backs. I thought they would keep more than that. I think they only kept 3. That was one thing that surprised me. The wide receiver position, it didn't surprise me that much. I knew, Jade was gonna take that spot from my man,
Scott.
Yeah, Scott. So once he was out of there, and you saw him kind of fumble or muff a couple of punts and kickoffs and things like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, what's going on with Tyler Scott, man? And I don't know what it was, so it just didn't work out for him. That's pretty much the only thing that really shook it up to me, like the running back situation. I thought they would take 4.
Yeah. Are you happy that Case Keenum is on the team? And do you think he's going to bring value to that quarterback room, given that he is taking up a roster spot?
Yeah, I think that he's definitely going to bring value to the locker room. You got to look at it. Case Keenum's he's been there, he's done that, right? So he's a veteran. He knows how to prepare every single week. He knows how to watch game film. That was an issue that Caleb had, right? Where people weren't really helping him with that, right? In the old regime. So now you have a situation where you got coaches that are, they're busy during the week. They don't have time to sit down and just go over film. They'll tell you what to look for. Hey, check this. They'll point out a couple things, but they don't really study film the way a guy needs to study film with the players because it's time consuming. Right. You got to do that on your own. You got to do that other times. So Case Keenum is going to be there, and he's going to be able to help Caleb in that regard, I believe. I think it's a great thing to keep him on board, help him develop these young guys, because Bajan is where Caleb is. He's at the beginning of his career as well. Both talented guys, but they can learn a lot from Case on how to prepare and how to go about planning for the week, you might say.
Do you have any concern at all regarding Caleb's preparation habits? There's been some rumblings that perhaps was something that happened at USC because he was allowed to freelance, and so there wasn't that much, of a directive from his coach to study film, just go out there and create, was basically his orders as a college football star. And then he comes to the the pros, and it's a totally different thing. And we've heard rumblings about, can he handle the mental aspects? Can he handle it willingly? He talks about wanting to be pushed and so forth, but do you have any concerns that maybe Case is really there for Caleb and to police him, so to speak?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I think he's definitely there to kind of police him, kind of, push him, nudge him in the right directions. You know what I mean? When it comes to taking criticism, because it's all going to be new for Caleb, right? Caleb said, and it's the good thing to say is, hey, I want to be coached hard, right? I want to be coached hard. And that's the great thing to say. That's the right thing to say. But does anybody really want that? Do a lot of guys really want to deal with that? Especially if you haven't had it before, right?
Yeah, right.
If you haven't had it before and you're not used to it, it could get taxing on you, right? At a certain time. So, to help him, transition into this phase of learning under a coach is going to be different. And now I'm sure Case Keenum is there for it. There are concerns. I'd be stupid or lying if I acted like there were no concerns, because it's well documented. You know what I mean? It's documented that he doesn't, he leaves some things on the table. He leaves some things to be desired when it comes to preparation, study habits, so on and so forth.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the guy is extremely talented. He's got all the athletic skills to be a top-notch quarterback. The problem is, of course, is that he didn't grow up in an NFL offense. Like everybody's talking about J.J. McCarthy is going to be a good quarterback because he comes from a pro offense. Now, I can quibble with that, but let's just focus on Caleb. He does not have that experience at the college level. Now, I truly believe that he wants to be great. He wants that. He wants that badly because he has been great, at the college level. He wants to achieve that in the pros. But it is a bit of a culture shock when you come to the NFL and these guys are a lot faster, they hit a lot harder, and there's more playbook, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I think all of us are concerned. I appreciate you saying that because I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's take a look at what is going to help enable him to, be that quarterback, and that's the offensive line. They kept 10 of them, Danikin. Are you concerned at all regarding the left tackle position, or do you feel that Braxton has done it for the last few years? He'll be able to do it again.
I think he's the most experienced one back there. They probably went with that in the preseason, right? They want the experienced guy, the guy that has kind of been there, and we'll see how he holds up. Over time, does Ozzie kind of step into that role and kind of take that position at some point in time? It's a possibility. He was a second-round draft pick. He does have some talent. You know what I mean? You look at what he did in college. He was a good offensive lineman in college. So it's just a transition to the NFL. Maybe he's not quite there, but with development, maybe he gets there. Braxton, on the other hand, man, I like a lot of what Braxton can do on the football field, right? I believe that he is very agile. He's athletic, and that allows for you to do some different things when it comes to designed quarterback runs or, getting out and running downfield and making some blocks downfield. We saw him do some of those things. So I don't want to negate what he's done. You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, there's some stuff that's desired from him that I haven't seen yet. And that's like getting down in that stance, being strong at the point of attack, and not letting, he gets kind of bulldozed a little bit sometimes, in my opinion. Yeah. So, that's the concerning part of it. How well is he going to hold up in those situations? But with the rest of the offensive line, Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright even, those are guys that you can mask somebody's deficiencies at a position, right? You can do certain things. You can put somebody over there and help them, block, send the running back over there and be a buffer or something like that. You can put your tight end over there and have them chip sometimes. There's tons of things you can do to kind of mask it or cover it up and allow him to get fully back from his injury, because I don't think he's fully back yet.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Right now, I think he's probably the best option that the Bears have.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I had high expectations for this guy after his rookie or during his rookie season, seeing the way he played, his athleticism to get outside and get to the second level and smash the crap out of defensive backs and in some cases linebackers. But injuries have been a problem. In his second year, he missed a good portion of camp, and so that slowed his progress. But as he said in the press conference, by the end of last year, he was starting to play at a high level. And then, unfortunately, this gruesome ankle injury, and he has a difficult offseason. He admitted it himself. He had a difficult offseason getting ready to work out. And then when he wanted to work out, people were telling him to slow down and so forth. And so that was a mental hardship that he went through this offseason. And now we see it on the field. We see when a defensive end goes to the right and then goes inside, that left leg where he had that injury can't pivot to catch up with that inside pass rush. And so, like you were just saying, Ben Johnson is going to have to scheme to help with the interior blocking in some cases. And aside from that, what do you have any other concerns regarding this offensive line? Because I got to tell you, I'm starting to worry a little bit about Darnell Wright. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Darnell Wright, he's still young, right? You like to see him taking some steps in the right direction, of course. But he's gonna have to be solidified over there. You know what I mean? You have to really, when you're in that tackle position, sometimes you can be on kind of like an island by yourself. You're going against probably the most athletic, especially on the left-hand side, but you're going against the most athletic of the defensive linemen, right? Many times those guys are faster, they're quicker than you, but you got to be able to get your hands on them, right? You got to be able to get your hands on them quickly, because if you don't get your hands on them, then they can run around you, do whatever they want to do. So they can try to catch you off guard sometimes. But that's his biggest thing. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be solidified over there. I think with the inside help that they have, Joe Tooney on that left side, Jonah Jackson on that right side, I think it's really going to help them. And then when you have an anchor like Drew Dahlman, you know what I mean, to be able to play the center position, it's really going to help those guys.
Yeah.
They were exposed last year, right, in many ways, because they didn't have any inside presence on that offensive line. And this year, I think it'll be a little bit different. It's going to take some fine-tuning, though, because an offensive line has to work in unison. You know what I mean? They got to be in unison. They got to communicate. They got to know what's going on. And we can't play musical chairs. So the five that we have, Braxton Jones, Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright, let those guys come together. Let them come together. Let them communicate. Let them build some cohesiveness. And then we'll see where the unit goes at that point.
Love it. All right, let's talk. You mentioned the running back squad earlier, that you're surprised that they went with just 3. When you look at this, you got the rookie 7th rounder, Kyle Manon guy. You got Roshan Johnson, who has had some injuries. And then you've got DeAndre Swift, who has looked good in the abbreviated play that he had in his preseason. Let's start with Swift here. If I say to you, he's going to have 1,300 yards from the line of scrimmage, so that includes rushing yards and passing yards, do you say over or under?
1,300, I say over.
Oh, okay. Tell me why.
I think he can get 900, 950 yards rushing. And I think he'll get 400 to 500 yards receiving. I really do. I think he's that type of running back, and I believe that they're going to reel Caleb in sometime, because a lot of times Caleb last year was looking for the big play. He was looking for the big play. He didn't utilize his tight ends and running backs as much as I think he should have. I think they're going to make that a point of emphasis. And I think you saw that in the last preseason game where he started out, he went to Colston, he went to Komet, he went back to Colston again. You know what I mean? 3 of those first 5 passes were to tight ends. And so he's gonna be able to utilize. And Swift, Ben Johnson knows him well. He used him in Detroit. He was a back that can catch out of the backfield. So I think they'll utilize that a little bit as well.
I like the way
1,300 yards is very high, though. It is very
Yeah.
high. Now that I think about it, yeah.
it is, especially when you got as many weapons as this team does. And Ryan Poles hinted at it, and we already knew that Ben Johnson was going to use DJ Moore out of the backfield. But what Poles hinted at is other surprises.
Mhm.
So that's going to eat up into carries, I suppose, for DeAndre Swift. But I think if they feed DeAndre Swift, like J2K just said in the chat room, he's going to have a monster year. A monster year. I really do. Do you play fantasy football?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if DeAndre Swift falls to the 8th round to you, you jumping on him?
I'm definitely jumping on him. I'm in a league. I'm in a league actually where we have it's a keeper league. So we have to cut guys and get under a salary cap, and then the salary cap goes back up. So I think he's on somebody's roster right now. But if he becomes available, I'm definitely going to take him.
Yeah, you got to, man. All right, Roschon Johnson, I wanted to get your thoughts on him. I think his job is still in a little bit of danger, and the danger could come in the form of Britton Brown, who is on the practice squad now. I really was impressed with the way he plays. He's got that power back mentality. Roschon, he's got to stay healthy and be productive in order to maintain this job and not lose it to somebody like Brown. Your thoughts on that?
And I love Roschon Johnson, man. I'm a Texas, Texas guy. I love Texas running backs. I always have. And I thought Roschon coming out of college, I thought he was going to be a guy who could possibly, not saying that he was cream of the crop or anything, but I thought that later on, maybe 2 years down the line, he could really be battling for a starting position at the running back spot somewhere. And when the Bears drafted him, I was happy. He hasn't stayed healthy with the concussion that he had last year, so on and so forth. He's a battering ram, and he's strong, but he is very fast. People forget how fast he is, and that he can really catch the ball out of the backfield too. So he's like one of those running backs that can do it all, and you saw him doing a lot of that in Texas. Matter of fact, I follow Texas football all the time. When he was there and Bijan Johnson was there, Bijan Robinson, I should say, the leader of that team was Roschon Johnson. That's how
I didn't know that.
He was well respected in the locker room by everybody.
Gotcha.
Even having a Heisman Trophy candidate, the leader was him. So he's a really good player. I think he can do well if he stays healthy. But like you said, your health is your best ability, man. If you're not available to be on the field, your job will get taken. It's not fair, but it happens.
Yeah. And Kyle Monange, quickly, your thoughts on Kyle Monange, the 7th round pick who made the team.
I think he's a very good player as well. I think he can do some things that we haven't seen Bears running backs do in the past. And and what I mean by that is blocking, right? He'll be able to pick up blitzes. He'll be able to knock people down in the backfield, right? When the linebacker comes up the middle and he comes free, if Monange is there, he's not afraid to tussle with somebody down in there, right? So you like to see that physicality. But he also is fast. He's also kind of strong. He's low to the ground, low center of gravity. So he does some things as well that's good. It's going to be a maturation process for him too, though. He's going to have to find his way and kind of see what happens. We don't want to put too much on his shoulders to begin with. I think Swift will be the bell cow, you know what I mean, the main guy. But those other guys will get some opportunities too.
Well, I wanted to spotlight your football acumen and opinion to our audience. We're going to switch over to the rest of the group. But before we do, I have one more question. Tell me about this man in your life.
It's my little guy, man. That's DJ. That's my son. His name is Daniel Joseph Goodwin. You see, he plays a little football right there. He's also in the car there with me. But yeah, that's my guy, man. He's 8 years old. Love him. I mean, I do everything on earth for him right now, man. That's my little guy. That's one of my best friends. I would say he is my best friend, and he's taking over stuff in my house now. I used to play PS5 all the time, 2K and all of that. Now I come home one day and he took it in his room and hooked it up to his TV. I thought that was my game, and he had, I got him a Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? But he don't want to play the Switch no more. He wants to play the big boy game. So okay, go ahead, man.
Awesome.
Have fun.
That's awesome. And he's a good looking kid. He's going to have a lot of women, around him as he gets older. So you got to have to keep an eye on him.
It's funny, man. We see people, and it's funny. We go to the store or something like that, right? The grocery store, and we walk in the store, and there'll be a little girl or a little kid there, and they'll be like, "Hey, Daniel, hey," they call him Daniel at school. They don't know him by DJ. So when I call him DJ, he's like, you don't have to call me that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you don't like DJ? That's what's wrong with that name? So right? It's funny. It's funny. He got his personality though. Definitely.
I love it. Well, one of these days you bring him on for our segment and talk a little ball with him. Okay?
I will.
All right, so what we're going to do now, every show, we'll play our regular open, and then when we come back, Tooch and Zim is still not backstage, but I'm sure he will be by the time we get back. So here's our regular open. It's 5 minutes long. It allows Danikin and I to get some water and take a piss.
With Jalen, what's the timeline for getting him back fully mixed in practice-wise?
Yeah, we're taking that really day to day. When I was going out to practice, he was running and doing agility work. So I feel like he's getting better.
What happened to him? What happened?
Yeah, before he got here, he had a soft tissue injury. Obviously, for this long, it's a little bit more significant. So it's just taking some time to get back and be his regular self.
This is Bare Their Souls.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Speak.
Fuck!
Good boy.
If you and DJ had a baby, it would be Luther Burden.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I mean, we're being held accountable, and when you fuck up, excuse my language.
There's a Chicago Bears podcast. Unlike most others.
To the end zone. Touchdown! Roma Dunze!
Three guys on the broadcast are a lot like brothers. This is Bare Their Souls. Uncensored, no controls. This is Bare Their Souls.
goes down in Bears territory.
With three likable labels. This is Bare Their Souls. This is Bare Their Souls. Bare Their Souls.
Pressure comes. Gets away from Van Ginkel. Still under pressure. Floats it down the sideline. And somehow Swift.
Let's go. This is Bare Their Souls. Uncensored and no control.
This is going to be intercepted.
This is Bare Their Souls. With three
We have a lot of lofty goals. We're trying to win the Super Bowl.
I've been growing since Ben's been here.
We're going to be ready to go when it's time to go. We got some dogs on this team.
Being able to have guys that can play any type of role is just, exciting as a defense,
We got a damn good head coach here. A damn good head coach. I'm just telling you. I know what they look like. I've been around.
You have to pay the toll. You have to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on this defense.
Welcome everyone to the new Bear There Soulz. It is Danikin, Zim, and Tooch. And I gotta tell you, I was working on that open today, and then I was trying to change the lyrics so it says for a likable a-holes. And then I said to myself, I don't know if Danikin is gonna like being called an a-hole. So I might wait a little while on that. How are you, fellas? Tooch, you're gonna have to unmute. Tooch is in the silent movie days. There he is.
Doing good. I thought the announcement was Zim was being replaced by Zim's wife.
She got better takes than me, that's for sure.
No shit, man.
After calling out the Jade Walker.
Hey, I'm out here wearing my brand new Jade Walker jersey.
Nice.
Today, right? This is definitely not anything else. Don't ask me to turn around and prove this. Just like the other boys, I won't.
Who is it? Who is 10? Was that Trubisky?
It doesn't matter. It's Jade Walker. Although you can try to get me to turn around, but none of the boys have so far. So.
And Luther Burden is now 13, I understand.
Correct.
Took over Keenan Allen's uniform. Hopefully he'll be wearing number 13 for the next 10, 12 years of the Chicago Bears. That 1 year rental of Keenan Allen, I look back at that. I said, that should have been an offensive lineman that we spent those resources on.
At the same time, we could have gotten a 35-year-old Adam Thielen for about the same price. Oh,
Jesus. So, do you don't like that move for the Vikings? I think that's a great move for the Vikings for J.J. McCarthy.
I love the move for Adam Thielen. Like, as the hometown boy, like if I was a Vikings fan, I would absolutely love the move. He's a hometown boy, like grown and raised in Minnesota, went to college in Minnesota, came up with the Vikings as a UDFA, proved everybody wrong, and went out and did his thing. And frankly, he can still play. I mean, I think that was very evident in all the videos and all the preseason games that we saw with the Panthers. He can still definitely play, but I don't know if I would have made that kind of trade to get him. That's my own thing.
Yeah.
I think they gave up too much for him.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a good player, and he definitely can be utilized with that team, but I think they gave up a little bit too much for him. 35 years old, like you said, man. It's tough.
Thing is, he's such a good player for a young quarterback, you know? You see what he really maybe this is hyperbole, but he could have potentially saved Bryce Young's career, man. I mean, he was the security blanket. Whatever success Young had, a lot of it was attributed to completing passes to Thielen.
Yeah. But the Panthers have a really nice, good young wide receiver core now.
They do not.
While Adam Thielen was a very good veteran and mentor in that room, like I feel like he served his purpose already. And like I think the Panthers feel the same way, and that's why they let him go and made this move to send him off to Minnesota because, you know, these guys need that coaching and that development, but you can only get so much for so long before a guy's just like taking up a roster spot, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're gonna see that. You know, you guys talked about it in the pregame with Case Keenum. You know, I feel like Case Keenum's gonna run that course sooner or later with this team as well. The same way that Mark Sanchez did years ago, the same way that Chase Daniel did years ago. You know, sooner or later, these guys are just taking up a roster spot rather than being that on the field coach that we want them to be. And it's up to the team to determine how long that takes before they get to that point. So I think the Panthers decided they were okay with where they were. Coker has made a lot of really strong progress for that team to come out and be a legitimate wide receiver option, in addition to Xavier Legette, their first round pick from last year. Look, I can go on and on and on about the Panthers and why I like the direction they're actually headed, which is weird because a year ago I never would have said this, but I think that this was the right move for both teams, actually. I just think it was expensive. And I think that if you want to make a trade, you should go talk to the Vikings because they're going to overdo it.
they normally do, right?
With Jordan Addison being down, it seemed like they just, hey, we got to make something happen. We got to do something here.
Well, that's just it. It's Addison being down, it's Bourne being gone, and isn't it Osborne? Is that their other guy who's injured right now? Like everybody, it just keeps adding up for them. They had to do something. Adam Thielen is a logical choice. Again, if I was a Vikings fan, and frankly, even not as a Vikings fan, like he's an easy guy to root for in that situation because, again, that's where he came from. It's hard not to root for the hometown guy. As somebody who lived in Denver for so long and played against Philip Lindsay, it was easy to root for him as a member of the Broncos because it's like we all wanted to be Broncos. Like, so it's easy to root for that,
Yeah. Tooch, you got a Bear state of affairs for us tonight?
Sure do.
Is it hot?
I got bionic eyes too.
Oh, let's get a medical update. So you got two new eyes now.
Well, I got one that sees far and one that sees close up. Like
how's that working for you?
Well, fortunately, my brain is able to figure it out. Although there were some doubts.
There was doubts. You had doubts.
Yeah, I never had a doubt. I never had. I figured that your porn career probably came in handy somehow, some way.
Had to put it to a close there. Close the book on the porn career.
Close the book. You don't want to see that stuff anymore. All right, you know how it starts. We start with Bear State of Affairs with this little ditty.
It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. He got nothing but truth bombs about the Bears. He tells it like it is and always has, with no agenda, just a little pizza. Sit back, light it up, and crack open a beer. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. Time for John Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. Time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. Time for John's Bears State of Affairs.
All right, Bear State of Affairs. Yeah, 2025 preseason, week 4. What's happening, Barflies? Yeah. Well, the Bears played their third and final preseason game versus the Chiefs, and it was a classic letdown spot. Yeah, the Bears had just beaten the Buffalo Bills 38-0 on Sunday Night Football. Then went into Arrowhead Stadium on a short week to play the AFC champion Chiefs on Friday night.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, the Bears could...
It's only a game.
Yeah, well, the Bears could seemingly do no wrong in their 38-0 win over the Bills. They had a much tougher time with the Chiefs.
Much.
The stark contrast from Game 2 to Game 3 in the preseason put doubt back into the minds of hopeful Bears fans. Yeah, the Bears looked slow and tired and sloppy against the Chiefs starters. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs starters, they had their way with the Bears starting defense, building a 17-0 lead before a Cairo Santos 28-yard field goal. And the slow start, Aldo?
Yes.
Yeah, it looked like it bothered Ben Johnson a little bit.
It's the same look he had when they were winning.
Yeah, quote, it was not the start we wanted from our ones, really, on offense, defense, or special teams, said Johnson. It was disappointing to see how slow we started. We couldn't stop them when they got down there in the red zone. That wasn't good on that side. Offensively, the first 2 possessions was really sloppy football that has plagued us in and out of camp so far. Yeah, as a result of the Bears' slow start, Ben Johnson kept the starters in for the entire first half. Yeah, although you think there was any doubt this guy was sending his team a message by keeping the starters out there?
Man, for a good-looking guy, he scares the shit out of me when I see him.
I'm so fucking scared right now. You shut up.
I love it. He's like our Bud Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a result of the Bears' slow start, Ben Johnson kept the starters in for the entire first half. Yeah, it didn't look good at Arrowhead there for a spell. In fact, the Chiefs scored on all 4 of their first possessions, didn't punt, and Mahomes finished 8 for 13 for 143 yards, a touchdown. Would have had 2 touchdowns if Kareem Hunt didn't drop a touchdown pass in the end zone.
Ay, Dios mío.
With the Chiefs selling for a 23-yard field goal there. And down 20-3 with the starters still in, the team responded. With Caleb Williams leading a touchdown drive in the 2-minute offense. He hit Rome Odunze in the front of the end zone, a 90-mile-per-hour fastball to cut the lead to 20-10 before halftime. Yeah, the third quarter opened with the Bears and Tyson Bagent driving downfield before a Cairo Santos missed field goal.
Oh, that's right.
And the Chiefs responded with a 2-yard Elijah Mitchell touchdown run set up by a 50-yard pass play that put the Chiefs score at 27-10 Chiefs.
Jeez.
Yeah, but then Tyson Bagent took over. Yeah, the Bears would score 19 unanswered points on their way to a 29-27 victory.
That's a W.
That's right. Yep. And fresh off his new 2-year, $10 million contract, Bagent led 3 touchdown drives. Yeah, the final touchdown drive. Excuse me.
That's all right.
I love it.
The final touchdown drive was a beautiful 10-play, 87-yard drive that started with less than 90 seconds on the clock. Bagent found rookie wide receiver Jade All-Day Walker with a beautiful toe tap end zone catch with 3 seconds left to give the Bears the win.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta like Antoine Randall L's reaction there, huh?
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, in all, Bagent finished the night 20 of 28 for 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 128.9 passer rating. Yeah, on Wednesday, you really couldn't write a better script for the Bears backup passer.
True.
Yeah, on Wednesday he signed his first big contract, then went viral for his emotional and heartfelt press conference where he fought back tears and talked about how he could help his family now that he had a little financial security.
Yeah!
Yeah, said Ben Johnson. Tyson epitomizes what we are building at the Chicago Bears. We are constructing a team that's driven by belief and built by hard work, and there's no better example of that than Tyson Bagent. Yeah, and here's Ryan Poles, quote, "We are fortunate to ensure that Tyson remains a member of the Chicago Bears. He is one of the hardest workers on our team, and in addition to being a great competitor and teammate, he is a catalyst for positive influence throughout our entire organization." Let me break this down for you, Aldo.
Thank you.
No Bears season is ever complete without a little quarterback controversy.
So true.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Tyson Bagent is now the clear-cut starter. That job belongs to Caleb Williams. But if Caleb Williams struggles and Tyson Bagent appears to grasp Ben Johnson's system faster than Caleb, well, the narrative will be deafening.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, and as a number 1 overall draft pick, Williams will be judged more harshly than other quarterbacks. Yeah, the job of being a quarterback in the city of Chicago, it carries a lot of weight.
Sure does.
We haven't had a lot of success at this particular position. Hell, we haven't ever had a 4,000-yard passer. Yeah, although Williams started slow against the Chiefs, he actually finished strong, going 11 for 15 for 113 yards, a touchdown, and a 116.8 passer rating.
You're goddamn right.
But, that didn't stop the negative sports media narrative from rearing its ugly head, Aldo.
You goddamn
right. Yeah, appearing on ESPN Sports Center on Saturday, former Bear Sam Acho said Williams' habit of wearing his socks halfway down his legs shows he's not focusing on the details needed to succeed at quarterback and contributing to the team's inconsistent offensive performance.
Sam, I expect better out of you.
I can't with these guys. I just can't. He isn't always fair with Caleb Williams. He definitely has more pressure on him than most players on the team. He also bears the weight of past Bears quarterbacks who drove up the hopes of Bears fans, quarterbacks with so much promise, like Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields, and even talented and promising Bears quarterbacks who'll begin serving jail time next month.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Jeez, he looks slow.
That's just a low blow, and I apologize. Yeah. As a number 1 overall draft pick, the Bears will be patient with Caleb Williams. His mistakes will be tolerated until they're not. No one's patience lasts forever. Make no mistake, the praise of Tyson Bagent is a message to not only Caleb Williams, but to the entire locker room. It should be perceived as a challenge to the team. Clean up the mistakes before the real bullets start flying. Yeah, this preseason, well, it's been an up and down affair. Against the Bills' backups, yeah, Bears looked fantastic. Against the Chiefs starters, the Bears looked iffy at best. The rally against the Chiefs' backups gave Bears their fans their hope back. Maybe this team will have some fight in them. The truth is, we really have no idea whether this team will be good or bad. There's still a lot of questions and not enough answers. And like it or not, the Bears really don't have any time left to figure things out. Yeah, the season's here, and it's time to go to war. There's no room for mistakes. Like Ben Johnson said this week, every play has to be treated as precious. Yeah, ready or not, Battle 1 starts in 12 days on Monday Night Football against the Vikings. That's Bears State of Affairs, Aldo.
Nicely done.
He told it like it is and always will. Listen next week to get an earful of whatever's happening with the Chicago Bears. It always happens here with John's State of Affairs. If you have to disagree, he's got a decree. Go fuck your fist, cause you're on his blacklist. You just heard the bare truth right here and now. John gave it to you straight cause he's got no sacred cows. If you have to disagree, he's got a decree. Go fuck your fist, cause you're on his blacklist. This was John's Bear State of Affairs.
I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that rap. I mean, that was pretty bad. The more I hear it, the more I want to vomit. But Tooch brings up a really fascinating point that I think we should devote some time to this subject. Is how long is the leash for Caleb now? I mean, if he gets off to a slow start, if he is making those mistakes at the line of scrimmage that are, typically the entire team is to blame. The offensive line snaps the ball a fraction of a second too late or whatever, but it still is something that the quarterback gets blamed for. And if his long ball accuracy continues to misfire, if he sometimes is making slow reads and holding on to the ball, if that continues for 4, 5, 6 games, do then people start saying, hey, maybe we should take a look at Tyson Bagent? I want to start with the new guy in the block, Danikin.
I don't think so. I just don't see it happening. I will say that, if there is some struggle that goes on, the fan base, right, is going to get loud. People are going to start complaining. They're going to say, no, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. He's not the guy. And in the past, the Bears as an organization, in my opinion, probably would have buckled under the pressure, right? But in this situation, I think that these guys are tied together. And I believe that they want to make it work for that reason. And, regardless of, Bagent, I love him. If he grasps the system, if he can step in and fill the void if need be for a couple of games, so be it. But to supplant Caleb is not happening. I don't think it's happening. Not this year, at least.
Sam, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm scrolling Twitter. That's the amount of attention that this discussion deserves.
Really?
I'm sorry. This is a total non-point. What are we talking about here? The number one over. Okay, first of all, should we bench Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville?
Well, no. I'm not a Jacksonville fan, so I don't know who the backup is.
Should we bench Jamarcus Russell?
Should we bench Justin Herbert?
Number one overall picks. They don't have a forever leash that goes to the moon.
They don't have a forever leash. But we're talking about a second-year quarterback. First of all, he put up arguably a top 10 rookie quarterback season of all time. Period. Point blank. No, like, I don't think there's a debate about that. Like, and the only reason we're not talking about that is because of what Jaden Daniels did, because he had a better coach and a better team around him. Again, period, point blank. There's no arguing either of those 2 points. I feel like it is very objective that Caleb Williams both had a top 10 rookie quarterback season and Jaden Daniels had a better rookie quarterback season, right? Those can both be valid points. And because of Jaden Daniels, we've completely blown this Caleb Williams situation out of the water. And we want to pretend like he's not a good quarterback and like he can't play well, because why? There is no evidence to suggest that he can't pick up an NFL system, that he can't play against an NFL defense, that he can't make the reads or adjustments necessary, because we saw him do all of that last season. We saw him grow throughout the season. We've had such a long off season that we've forgotten what this guy looks like on a football field. And I feel like that's the only justification for why we're even having this argument right now, because he made Shane Waldron actually look like he knew what he was doing for a few weeks there, when in the end, the Bears fired him mid-season. He made us think that Matt Eberflus maybe should have stayed till the end of the season, when he became the first head coach ever fired mid-season by the Chicago Bears. In a 102-year history of the NFL football team, they fired a guy because he was doing so poorly. And it's because he wasn't getting the most out of this quarterback who had a top 10 rookie quarterback season of all time. Like, this guy is truly generational, the way that he was advertised out of college. And I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but how else do you describe a guy who threw for 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions with 3 offensive coordinators, a head coach who got fired, and generally no direction for the final 6 games of the season? I mean,
all right, let me interrupt you a second, because we know a lot of those facts that you're bringing up. We know how many yards he threw for. We know the touchdown interception ratio and so forth. But I think that sometimes we're forgetting that his first halves last year, for 13 out of the 17 games that he quarterbacked, were atrocious. I mean, the Washington game was one of the most disappointing games that I've ever experienced as a Bears fan.
And he followed it up with 2 absolute stinkers too.
After throwing for 4 touchdown passes against Jacksonville, he comes back on the road to Washington and he looks nervous. For a guy who said, "I'm never nervous," he looked nervous and threw for 10-24. Kudos. He brought them back, and if it wasn't for Eberflus ruining the defense on the Hail Mary, because he didn't know what the hell he was doing by not calling timeout, or not guarding the sidelines on that play before the Hail Mary, this guy had a horrible game. He had a horrible game. And so there were other instances of last season. Now, I'll say this. This is Ben Johnson's call. We're doing this as fans, as lovers of the game and so forth, but this is Ben Johnson's call. If he picks up the phone and says, "Ryan, I need to talk to you. We're 2-5, and it's because my quarterback just doesn't get it. I want to kick him in the butt. I want to bring Tyson in. Let's see how Tyson could do under my offense." Is that out of the realm of possibility? I see Danikin smiling, so I want to hear from him.
No, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, right? I think they need to be more patient with Caleb, right? That's what I believe. That's what I believe, right? Yep. And I think they will be. Yeah, absolutely. The fan base is not going to be, right? And what I will say, I'm going to push back a little bit on what Zim is saying, right? With the stats. The stats are what they are. Whatever, to me, they're empty calories. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of empty calories, because you come in and you play terrible in the first half, and then you get behind, and when a team goes into playing where they don't care because you're up 2 or 3 scores, or they're playing prevent defense, of course, any quarterback in the NFL can pick that apart. You know what I mean? But what are you doing when the money is on the table? When the game is close, what are you doing? I want to see that part of Caleb Williams' shot.
But
all I said last year was
Caleb and not anybody else.
It counts for everybody.
But it doesn't. We think Matt
Stafford's
Stafford's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and that's 30% of his career.
Well, I've never been a Stafford fan. You know, he's known to be called what, Stat Padford, right? Because he has his stats. That's what he does. So I've always said that about him. But what I'm saying about Caleb is that I just need to see it in the beginning of the game. Keep me in the game from the start. Start out hot. Don't get hot in the third or fourth quarter. Get hot early on. Play well in the first half, and let's stomp on other teams like they stomp on us. That's all I'm saying.
I think what it comes down to is whether or not he's winning games. I don't think it really matters how he plays in those games. It's whether or not he wins those games. Because we have to keep in mind, the Bears lost, 5 games, I believe, by 3 or fewer points last year, and 7 by 7 or fewer. Look, if he can flip half of those games, all of a sudden, we're looking at an 8-9 record rather than a 4-13 record that they had. Like, it is a very different situation if they managed to score an extra field goal in 4 games last year, right? So that's where I think it ultimately turns. And that's where, like, you hired Ben Johnson to do that, right? If Ben Johnson can get you those extra handful of points a game, that's where suddenly this is not a conversation. Like, I think we're overanalyzing this entirely because we're bored and we haven't had anything to talk about since January. We've forgotten what we actually have in front of us. And instead we're making up narratives. We're trying to justify the arguments that we're actually having.
The narrative exists without us or not.
I misspoke. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I totally misspoke.
I mean,
on that.
it's out there.
I should not
it's
have
not,
said that.
Yeah. The problem is
we got what you meant.
When you're a first round draft pick, when you're the first overall pick, the expectations are there. They're going to be there. They're never going to go anywhere. They're always going to be there. And then when you have a guy that was drafted at 2 behind you, and he had a magnificent year, took his team to the playoffs, it doesn't matter what the stats say, because like you said, Zim, win the games. Jaden Daniels won the games. That's what it boils down to. He won the games. He beat Detroit in the playoffs. The best team with the best record in the NFC.
I'm actually not going to say Jaden Daniels won. I'm going to say the Commanders won, right? But because the Commanders won, Jaden Daniels looks good, right?
He does. So, but that's the way the narrative is painted.
Exactly.
All the time.
That's the life of a quarterback.
Agree with that. Because I feel like had Mitch had a little bit different direction during his years with the Bears, let's be real. If he hits if Cody Parkey hits the double doink, Mitch Trubisky might still be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Right. So it's all about team success determining the individual success. And so that's where it's all going to come around on a Ben Johnson ultimately, where I don't think that he's going to have that short leash with Caleb Johnson because he has never had a talent like Caleb Johnson to work with. So I think he's really going to try to knead all the way through it, to really, be the baker, to be patient, to knead his hands all the way through the dough and then let it sit and let it rise, because you don't know what kind of bread. Yes, Ben Johnson. You don't know what kind of bread you've got until it rises and it's baked. And that's what he's going to do with Caleb Williams. He's going to knead him. He's going to knead him. He's going to knead him. And now he's going to let him sit. Now that the regular season has started, Ben Johnson's going to let that dough set and he's going to let it rise. And if it rises the way he wants, he's going to put it in the oven and let it bake. And we're going to have ourselves a full-fledged quarterback. And if it doesn't,
and fuck you and fuck you all. It sucks.
Look, I found an analogy I really like. A metaphor that I'm going to roll.
Not a patient man, Sam. He's not a patient man.
I thought you were making a porn movie. He's going to need him. Like, what the fuck is going on? Listen, I know Danikin wants to retort, but I got to say it quickly. This is really, if you are going to say this guy is a great talent. We should, give him a long leash. That's fine. Then don't put the pressure of winning and losing games. What you need to do is the opposite of what you said, Zim, which is to study how he's playing the quarterback position. Are his feet right? Is he accurate? Is he making the right reads and so forth? Because the team could lose because the tackles are so bad that he can't play at 100% because the defense is getting run on because there's injuries to the secondary. There's also the one loss record is not a quarterback stat. What is the necessary for a quarterback to play to contribute to victories are all of those mechanic things that he. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Aren't you supposed to play like a video when I make a great fucking point?
Sorry.
Where the hell is it? It's a god.
I know.
There it is. All right, it's too fucking long. But,
I gotta jump in here because
please do.
I apologize for throwing the grenade into the bar room here.
No, I love it. This is a good discussion. I think every leadership
I'm not advocating
talks about stuff like this.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for Tyson Bagent to be the starter. I'm simply pointing out that nobody's patience lasts forever, and this is a question of patience.
It's a perfectly phrased question.
It's also it's also a question of wins or losses in the NFL because that ultimately, like Danikin says, is what teams and quarterbacks are judged on. Unfortunately, that's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Will Caleb? I mean, Caleb Williams is immensely talented. I mean, you gotta love that fastball he threw to Roma Dunze in the front of the end zone for their first touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Aldo brought up a great point about the tackles not being good enough for the system because there was one point, and Chase Daniel pointed out in his video, if anybody caught that, where Braxton Jones, didn't pick up his man, and that blew up a sure touchdown.
And that's a whole other conversation that needs to be had alongside all this.
And we will get to that.
Absolutely, I'm sure we will. It's a very notable point.
But it's also important too, right? And people are forgetting this. They get caught up in the numbers, right? And it's all about, okay, he threw for 3,700 yards, 35, whatever it was. I don't even know, 20 touchdowns, low interceptions. But let's be real, his passes downfield was so errant that nobody in the world could catch him, right? Randy Moss couldn't be running down there and catch the ball because they were way either out of bounds or wherever, right? So let's be honest about that. Here's the other thing that you have to be honest about when you're evaluating the quarterback position, and probably Ben Johnson is doing this as well. What is Caleb doing, right? 68 times he was sacked. We hear that. It's beaten into our heads over and over and over. 68 times. How many of those sacks did he hold the ball up more than 5 seconds? 28. It goes down to 40. Mm-hmm. So you can exponentially make your offensive line look worse, or you can make them look a little bit better by getting rid of the freaking ball on time, which he doesn't do because he wants to play hero ball sometimes. So can Ben Johnson reel him in on that? Is he going to be able to do that? Is Caleb going to say, okay, let me take a step back, let me follow direction here and not try to play hero ball, not run 20 yards backwards and run into a sack? I've seen him do it. Yes. So those are the things that we're talking about. When you're talking about his patience, it's not about his numbers or if he can throw the ball or if he can sling it. It's, do you pay attention to those things? Are you following directions with what I want you to do as the coach? That's the problem. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that Ben Johnson isn't completely sold on Caleb Williams as the guy. I'm not convinced that he won't one day, whether sooner or later, pull the plug and say, look, I'm sick of this. I'm putting in a guy that, can run the system effectively. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I don't think it's 100% certain that Ben Johnson will stick with Caleb Williams no matter what. I just don't think he's that type of coach.
I loved your points there, Tooch. I think that, one of the reasons he came to Chicago was because he wanted to work with Caleb, because he saw what we see. Every one of us sees it. Any football fan with an ounce of brains can see that this guy has phenomenal talent. Now the thing is can he package it? There have been great hitters that just are out of the league because they couldn't hit the curveball, and the analogies go on. And I believe in my heart and I can be the biggest meathead in the world, but truly in my heart, I believe he's going to fucking do it. But there's going to be more ups and downs. There was a lot more downs than ups last year, but he's going to have some ups this year. But there's still going to be some ups and downs.
How many shows ago was it when I did Bears State of Affairs on pressure? Because we're talking about immense pressure on this kid. He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure for a young man.
This picture is awesome, man. This from Esquire, right?
I know.
Yeah.
He's in that. I like that picture because he's by himself and he's got a ton of weight on his shoulders.
Exactly. The symbolism is there.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Let's hope we never see him like this, right, Tooch?
At least not till he's done playing.
Chicago or a wife, ex-wife can do that to a man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay. He's seen better days, Aldo. He's seen better days.
Let's see, huh? Oh, poor guy. Anyway, let's switch the conversation around him. I know you had another point to make, and maybe.
I'm just trying to find a quote that I can't find. It's
okay.
All good.
Because we got so much more to talk about.
So much.
We do.
I have a ton of notes too.
It was such an emphasis about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, and it was something along the lines of, the guy just passed up the last 2 major coaching cycles to not take a job just to come get Caleb Williams so that he could fucking bench him in 3 weeks for Tyson Bagent.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
That's not.
No, it was seeped in sarcasm.
Yeah.
It was just a whole thing about come on, put your head in here. He's
I get
giving Caleb a year.
You could say that,
and I think that's completely valid. I think it's completely fair. He's going to give him a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? If the wheels completely come off by week 10, fuck it, whatever. But he's gonna give him time, and that's ultimately what this whole initial point came down to, just to bring it all full circle. We're 35 minutes into the show already, and just to bring this first topic all the way back full circle, the whole case and point of the whole thing is just that Ben Johnson came to Chicago to coach Caleb Williams. And if he didn't want to coach him, he would have gone to Tampa or anywhere else that had a vacancy this season, or he would have stayed in Detroit and waited for a better opening next year, because that's what he did last year. So he took the position he wanted. He got the deal he wanted. He wouldn't have taken
a fat bag of money too.
He did get a fat bag of money.
The 5th highest paid coach in the league, maybe even
higher.
But
who wouldn't have paid him that? The guy had everything to
exactly.
He proved that he was worth it. In our opinion, at least, nobody's mad about the Ben Johnson hire. We're all mad about Caleb Williams apparently being quarterback. So to me, no, but we're questioning it, and I think somewhat deservedly so. To bring it all again full circle, I just think that Ben Johnson is going to be as patient as he needs to be to let this all work out, and he is going to be definitively proven wrong that Caleb Williams cannot be a quarterback in the NFL before he so much as thinks about putting him on the bench.
Yeah. I don't think so. It's not happening this year. It's definitely not happening this year. Now, if you get a year and a half into it and it's no improvement, then you start thinking about stuff, because at the end of the day, you think Ben Johnson's going to sit there and ride all the way down into the gutter with you? No, I'm going to get rid of you, and I'm going to move on and try to save my job.
Yeah, and again, just maybe to put a button on this, is success for Caleb in 2025 could become very nuanced, where the wins won't necessarily be there, but he could display progression in his football smarts and his mechanics, and just not making mistakes, and then I'll be satisfied. I'll take another fucking losing season. I can hang on. I'm 66 years old. I can hang on for another season, 2026, to get into the playoffs and Super Bowl. All right, guys, I want to make sure we talk about some of the other big news. Danikin and I talked about the running backs and the offensive line, but I wanted to make sure I got any thoughts from you, Zim and Tooch. Were there anything, for instance, at the running back room? Are you concerned at all that we only have 3 people there?
I think it's a sign that there's more to come. I mean, we're definitely not going into the season with 3. I think another one's coming. I mean, there's some runners out there. They'd be kind of foolish to go into it with only 3 guys, including two of who are injured.
They bypassed today Eckler and I'm forgetting the other guy who was a fairly big name. But and who do they have in the practice squad? I think I got a graphic for that. But
Britton Brown, I know
Britton
is
Brown.
one.
Yeah, Britton Brown.
Yeah,
I kind of like him, man. I kind of think that
I texted our group the other night and said, Britton Brown is apparently on this team with how much he's been playing and the way that they want to see something from him. I figured Ian Wheeler was cut because of that. To me, it says they're prepared to go in with 3, but it's very similar to the way that they've gone into the season the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, really, since Poles has got there, he's already shown that to him, running back's a disposable position. He's going to go into the season with the guys he's got. And when guys get hurt, he's just going to rotate them out. And he's done it every year that he's been with the Bears. It's frustrating because the Bears don't have that guy in the backfield. I mean, unless you think of DeAndre Swift that way, which some days I do, some days I don't.
Okay.
I'm very back and forth on him. There are games where I'm like, yeah, this is the guy. And yet in my fantasy draft last night, I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. No, take him on your fantasy.
The end of the day, like, I think it's very much, the Bears know what they've got with the 3 guys that they kept on the team. They like what they've got in the 3 guys that they have on the team, but they're also not counting on them to stay healthy, which is why they're only sticking with 3 of them so that they can easily elevate more guys from the practice squad, move with the IR. It's a very fluid situation. And again, they've done it the last 3 years, 4 years that Poles has been there. So why wouldn't they continue to do it this year?
I'm just a little bit scared about what they might be doing with DJ Moore. If they're going to play him at running back some, I don't necessarily like that. He's 28 years old, and it's like, yeah, he's physical and he's a hard runner and so on and so forth. And we know that, he can do that. And you look at a guy like Deebo Samuels who's done it, right? And that's fine. But at 28 years old, when you've been playing wide receiver and you're running, it's different than running over a defensive back than it is getting tackled by a 285-pound defensive end or a 300-pound defensive tackle, right?
Well,
it's a much different situation. So you run the risk of injuring that guy. You know what I mean? And yeah, you do have a deep wide receiver room, but why run that risk? Let that veteran stay there and help the young guys come along, be a safety blanket to your quarterback, and get you another running back. That's just my opinion. I don't want to see him running at running back. I don't want to see him in the backfield. Every now and then, okay, but if he's getting 5 to 10 carries a game, I ain't with that.
Not to push back too hard, but he did play out of the backfield a reasonable amount, a not insignificant amount when he was in Carolina. He does have that runner, and at Maryland, actually, before that. He's not a guy who's unfamiliar getting the ball behind the line of scrimmage and bringing it out and making those plays. I firmly believe that he can read those running lanes. I don't think they're truly relying on that too much, but to bring it back to the point that I made last week or the week before, DJ Moore is the weapon on this offense. DJ Moore is weapon X. He's the guy who they're going to feed the offense through, in my opinion. I could be totally proven wrong in less than 14 days here, and I'll be just as surprised as maybe some of you won't be surprised at all. I tend to have some controversial takes, apparently. But
yes, you do. That's why I like you around here.
How much does DJ Moore practice at running back, though? I mean, I agree he's going to line up in the backfield and get him out in some motion plays and some designed runs.
He's
and short
gotten
passes,
a lot of work at camp, Tooch. So
he was getting direct snaps a couple days ago, they said. That was the reports, at least.
Right. Here's the thing, and I think Danikin makes a good point, but one of the reasons I'm not too concerned is there is a lot of depth in that wide receiver room. And so if DJ gets dinged up, because a big 350-pound nose tackle falls on him, as long as we don't lose him for a long period of time or any sustained amount of time. I mean, you look at the fact that we got the 2 tight ends, those are pass catching tight ends. You got Rome, you got Luther, you got Olamide Zacchaeus. I know I mispronounced that. And Walker, you got so much effing talent. If we're going to get more big plays out of DJ Moore because we're handing him the ball 4 or 5 times a game and he's breaking 1 or 2 of those, I'm okay with him taking some pounding. It's also punishment for his attitude last year.
Here's my thoughts on the running backs. This is a position of attrition in the NFL, the injury attrition. This position, notably more than others, since the running backs can't touch the ball so much. But my main concern is that Ben Johnson has predicated his offense on the run game, and if other teams aren't going to respect the Bears' run game, I mean, how good is the passing game going to be? How good is the entire offense going to be? I've always said that Ben Johnson kind of needs that engine he had like Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm not convinced that he wasn't upset that we didn't get a running back earlier in the draft when we lost out on Travion Henderson. But without a good run game, I mean, teams aren't going to respect. They can just lay back and play the pass.
Yeah, I do get the feeling he's got a high level of confidence in Swift. He's being careful with his words because he doesn't want, it to backfire on him. But the praise that he's given him has been substantial, and we all know that his offense needs a good running back. If they felt badly about Swift, then Swift and the formula of using DJ and other people in the backfield, like Luther Burton, I know it's going to get some carries too. If they would have felt bad, they would have made a bigger push at acquiring a running back on a team who is third in the depth chart, who could become the second in the depth chart here in Chicago. There's somebody they could have acquired via trade or what have you.
No, I don't think there's a guy on this roster who's not capable of taking a handoff in this offense. Ben Johnson showed it in Detroit. Yes. He showed it in Detroit. He's going to show it in Chicago too. I mean, the first play of the game last week was a fumble handing it off to Olamide Zaccheaus. Zaccheaus will get the ball. Mora is going to get the ball. Odunze is going to get the ball. We saw him do that in college to some pretty good success. Just to continue off of your point, there's no reason that Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones can't get handoffs in this offense. As long as it's not Doug Kramer at the goal line, I think we'll be happy.
Why'd you do that? I'm going to put that all over the internet.
Right, catching a few passes, but I don't know about running.
Darnell Wright, man, talk about the hands on that guy. He can catch.
How about Jade Walker's hands, man? I see his little highlight reel he posted or tweeted.
Yeah. He said he's been doing that. I've been doing this since I was 6.
Yeah, Mr. One-handed catch, man. Can't wait
Holy
to see
shit.
that.
I genuinely want a jersey now because of that. Speaking of Aldo, my wife says that you owe her a jersey for her call last week.
Yes, yeah. I do. Does she want a Walker jersey?
I mean, that's what she said. I'm just saying.
She could have my name, Gandia. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I would take exception to that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
I hope they don't cut this kid, man, because
you
don't stumble across talent like this every day.
He plays really well on special teams, and I'm not talking about returning the ball. That guy gets down there like a gunner. Hey, I just want to show you guys something real quick. See, do you know what this is?
Chicago
Blitz. That was the USFL team, I think.
Damn,
is that what it was?
Nice.
I was going to say it was an LFL team, so you got me beat.
Nice. Where did you get that?
There's a website on
Retro Shirts.
Retro Shirts. How'd you know
Really?
that?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So somebody posted it on Twitter. I was going to call them and say, hey, sponsor our show, Bear Their Souls, because I'm going to be wearing some of your t-shirts.
I just bought. I'd wear all kinds of that stuff. I love that shit.
I love this. This is awesome.
I think maybe my main focus on, and I didn't mean to throw the grenade out there, but my main focus is that we don't really know what this team is. I mean, I before the season, I would have said, well, I had it pegged around 8-9 wins. I'm not so sure, man. I don't know. I mean, I think this team's going to have a lot of growing pains this season, and I think I'm wondering which Bears team is closer to the real Bears team, the Bills or the Chiefs game. Bears, the Bills game, Bears, the Chiefs game. We're probably more like the Chiefs game, Bears.
They won.
I'm sorry, I know they won both of them, but I mean, if we're playing ones on ones. You know, are we getting the first half Chief Bears for the season? You know, and that's the main thing. There's a lot more questions than answers.
Well, let's go back to 2018, Matt Nagy's rookie year with the Bears, and as a head coach, and he takes the team to the playoffs. And Zim says if Trubisky wins that game, he still might be our quarterback. No,
it's a huge maybe. All right, it's a Marvel what if episode. All right,
it'd be a miracle.
We need
flip the whole, change the whole direction of his career. Right?
Exactly.
We need the Dumb and Dumber gift. So you're saying there's a chance?
Look, all I'm saying is the guy's a 2-time playoff quarterback and the first time ever MVP of the league.
So that's where I was going to go. Clearly, we all know. Come on, we're smart enough to know that they got to the playoffs not because of Mitchell Trubisky, but because of Vic Fangio's defense.
And that defense. Yeah.
So I ask you guys, as a rookie head coach, like Matt Nagy was, he got the benefit of a superstar quality defense. Does Ben Johnson have either a superstar quality defense, a superstar quality offense, or a superstar quality special teams? The answers are no, no, and no.
Correct.
Right.
That's scary.
The lack of pass rush is very concerning.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I know we didn't see Grady out there, but even then, you know, I mean, and the Chiefs have a great offensive line. Let's not kid ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there was not. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was barely threatened at all that in the first that day. He had all day to throw back there, all day.
It was like Dennis Allen told him, "Hey, take a dive." I put $500,000 on Mahomes scoring 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Just dive, guys. We'll split the money and have some fun in Vegas on the way home.
They put their money in the Dio Odeyingbo bag. Like, that is where they're at. And whether you like it or not, that's what we've got this season. I've been saying it for months. Everybody keeps asking if they're going to sign an edge. And it's like, guys, they did. And I hate to be the bearer of Bears news, but Dio's the guy. All right. and we all have to live with it for this season and at least one more. And yeah, it's I don't know what to make of it because he didn't look particularly great at any point during the preseason, but it also didn't look like he was really trying in any of those games too. So like, what do you make of that? Like, is that just as problematic, or is that him just going out there and doing what the coaches asked of him and then going and taking the bench? I don't know. I really hope, like personally, I really hope that we're proven wrong and he has a Robert Quinn type season for this team where we're like, where the fuck did that come from? You know,
I knew Robert Quinn was going to do that the first time. You know, when he plays for money. That's Robert Quinn's valid. MO. That's his MO for years. He have an outstanding season in the contract year, fall off the face of the earth. Contract year comes up again, have another outstanding season. With Deo, man, it's gonna I think more so than Deo, I'm looking at Montez Sweat, right? I need to see Montez Sweat command the double teams, command the attention that will get Deo free runs to the quarterback.
Right.
And that's valid.
Grady Jarrett in there, Javon Dexter. When those guys, if those guys can come and play halfway decent, then you don't have to have 2 outstanding pass rushers. You can have one that's outstanding and one that's decent, right?
Good enough.
And he's gonna eat. Yeah, it's the age-old thing. When you have one great wide receiver and then your second wide receiver is able to benefit from not getting double teamed, then he can eat somebody up on the other side. So that's the difference. Is Montez Sweat gonna play the way Montez Sweat should play, right? When he first came here, we could see that. We could see his play. And it was
banged up last year. You know,
he was banged up.
But at the same time, he's getting paid as what, the 7th highest paid defensive end in football? So is he performing as the 7th best? Like, and that's what we need to see from him.
He didn't last year. There were some injury issues. There's no doubt about it. And the fact that the Bears weren't getting much of a rush. Aside from Javon Dexter, they weren't getting much of an inside pass rush, which I think is vital to have the defensive ends, cook. Get that guy that quarterback running out of the pocket and into the arms of Montez Sweat, into the arms of Deo. And so hopefully Grady Jarrett's presence in the middle of the screen, and hopefully Gervon Dexter is going to play better football, and that's going to help the pass rush. I got a soundbite here from Gervon Dexter talking about how he has progressed under the guidance of his defensive line coach, who I'm forgetting his name. She's going to say his initials here. Jeremy something. Anyways, this is Gervon Dexter.
One thing I would highlight, it's a funny story. My coach, like I say, Coach JG, he asked me one time when we first got here, like, G, what you looking at when you getting off the ball, or what you looking at when you ready to strike? And I think I told him some dumbass. Sorry. I told him, like, I'm looking at the hips or the ankles of the offensive lineman. He looked at me funny. It was like, just key the tip of the pad, and that's been more than helped me so far. So it's been perfect.
He was saying that over the course of this offseason, that like you would text him and like say like, what should I do better? Like, what has that dynamic been like? And like, what was he telling you to work on as you got to camp, and then once you got into the thick of things?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things. I think he noticed. You talking about JG, right? Yeah, he noticed that, like, obviously my eyes weren't in the right place, and I think one of the things that he told me is like the start of the play. So like that's the stance. Getting down and getting ready to play is probably the biggest thing. So if you don't have a good stance, you probably won't have a good get off, and 9 times out of 10 you won't have a good play. So like just the start of the play, and he's helped me fix the start, and that's been pretty good for me.
A week ago in practice, you went down, and you were down for a little bit. It looked pretty scary. By Friday night, you're back out on the field playing. What happened?
I just had like twisted my ankle. Got rolled up on, twisted my ankle.
Were you a little nervous initially when it happened? It looked like you were.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous. I broke this ankle before, so just a little nervous with it, but I'm cool.
Yeah, obviously the game, you felt 100%.
Yeah, I was ready. Yeah, for sure.
Javon, you and Zach came in together. What his exit, or just the process of development and the business of the game? What have you learned, or what has his exit taught you?
I think that was a tough one for me, just because, like you said, we came in together, we got drafted together, and we was able to see the ups and downs of the league. We did everything. Like, we went through all the moments together. I think the tough part is obviously it's the business, and just seeing that. And obviously, I'm still grateful that I'm here, and I know Zach will he still have a lot of career left in him, and he'll be able to keep it going. So.
I let that run long because I wanted to show 3 things. Number one, he's an authentic guy. Guy's got heart. He's a brother to Zach, and so those words he said about Pickens being dropped, that made an impact on me. Number 2 is that guy is listening to his coach and has bonded with his coach, and that's good news. And then number 3, I think he is the most important guy of the defensive line, because if he can provide that inside pass rush and be disruptive and get his hands up, tip some balls, make the quarterback throw quickly, force the quarterback out of the pocket into Sweat and into Dale, he is the guy that can make that happen. We know what Grady Jarrett has done, and we know what he did last year. He is not ascending, he is descending. Now, the great thing about him is that he's Case Keenum on steroids, and I mean that as a joke, not literally. He is going to help everyone in that defensive line stay focused, stay hungry, talk shit out there, be junkyard dogs like the '85 Bears were. That's what Grady is going to do. But in terms of performance, it's Gervon Dexter. He's the middle of the pass rush.
Yeah. He's a guy that should be able to put some. 2 or 3 sacks.
Yeah,
right.
That's where I'm at, fellas. I see Zim like frowning, saying, "This fucking guy, he's so old, he doesn't know shit." No retort.
I mean, it's a combination. It's going to be a rotation. We all know that. If Dexter can provide that initial push, that's where it'll be interesting to see where he carves out his role. If he's going to be a first and second down guy, if he's going to be a third down guy, if he's going to be a 3 down guy, because that is what's going to make this defensive line complete. It's why they kept so many guys on both offense and defensive line. It's because they have so many guys who haven't carved out a proper role for themselves. And I think this coaching staff, frankly, is pissed about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think they wanted some spots for some other guys. But,
Yeah.
you know, they've had to make these decisions, and it's good for Gervon Dexter that he's one of the guys who's still there because he's going to get the first crack at it. He's going to be the first guy up who gets to stand next to Grady Jarrett and say, like, you know, hey, big bro, teach me some shit. Like, tell me how to do what you did for the last 10 years because I think I'm this close, you know, I think I'm this close, you know, whatever, but like, help me finish this gap. And I think that's where, you know, your Case Keenum analogy like really works well because that's what we need to see from these guys. We need to see them start mentoring the young guys, developing them and letting these young guys come into their own and actually be what this team needs them to be so that we can have those more valuable roster spots for other guys. You know, they've only got 5 wide receivers. They've only got 3 running backs. Wouldn't it be nice to have 6 and 4 instead of 10 offensive linemen?
Right now, they don't have a long snapper on the 53-man roster. The long snapper is on the practice squad, so he'll probably be activated by game time. But that's kind of odd. Yeah, this
They have
roster.
to cut somebody too, right?
If they bring in somebody from the practice squad, they'd have to put somebody on waivers. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So I don't know, man. Go
It's
ahead.
fluid, man. It's going to be fluid, though.
Yep.
The guy who's easiest to mess with his contract is going to be Case Keenum.
That last
No,
comment
he's
you
got
had up
it's
there.
all guaranteed. It's all guaranteed. All 2.25 million are guaranteed for Case. So, you know, there's some salary cap shit that they can, you know, mess around with, but the 2.25 is guaranteed. So if they were to cut him, you're not going to save it on the cap.
It feels like they kind of backed themselves into a little bit of a corner on this one then.
Well, I think that, I think they just feel so strongly about Case's presence and how much that's going to help Caleb. And
no,
if
I
that's the
mean,
case,
yeah, I'm all good with that. I'm just talking the roster in general. I feel like they really like they couldn't decide what to do with that 53rd roster spot, and it's really, you know, it was evident even longer back in the off season when they had Torrey Taylor taking up the 91st roster spot, using him as the international exemption. So now they're continuing this into the preseason, and you've got to feel like there's some real frustration here, you know, having to do all that and not just having their 53 and going with it. But I mean, that's a whole other debate for a whole different conversation. We're talking about defensive line and Gervon Dexter's impact on it.
At the end of the day, I will say this about the defensive line and the offensive line, right? Games are won where? We hear it all the time, right? If you cannot control the line of scrimmage, if you can't win in the trenches, you won't win a football game.
Wait, who said that? Didn't Ryan Poles say that? Didn't the general manager of this team say that in his introductory press conference? Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
Sorry,
if you can't win it in there, you're not going to win. So the 10 defensive linemen, offensive linemen, man. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, the Bears have had it's musical chairs, especially with the offensive line, right? Somebody's always injured. Bates was injured all the time. You know, guys were pinky toe, pinky finger hurting, you know what I mean? Sitting out of games. You know, we had guys like, you know, Nate Davis that was just out for, you know, long periods of time. You know what I mean? Just we've always had this. So I think they're preparing for it just in case. And like I said, I don't think Braxton Jones is 100% back yet. So, you know, you have to carry an extra spot there. So, you know, that's just what we're dealing with. That's what we have to deal with right there.
Well, there's been a lot of D-line talk in the chat room. I mean, I can't say I disagree with a lot of it. Someone said, I forgot that one, that Aldo had flashed up there. Really, Danny doesn't think that the defensive line has many impact players on it. That's one of my fears. I don't know whether that's true or not, you know, but I have my doubts of some of these players, you know. The only one who's really proven, I guess, is Grady Jarrett, and he's 32. Then you have Montez Sweat, who I forget the name of the guest we had on that said last year he had a big cut on his leg that was just horrible. that he was injured last year. What was the name of our guest? That he's the beat writer for a website. He was a really nice young man.
Zach Pearson.
Zach Pearson. Yep.
Yeah.
He said he got to look at the injury, the big gigantic gash on Montez's leg, and that really affected his play. So, but is Montez Sweat the type of player that needs another player opposite of him to be effective? Is he a player that needs Grady Jarrett to be effective? And then Gervon Dexter kind of when he first got with the Bears, I was like, this guy's the last guy off the ball. It was so slow off the snap. And then in the preseason, they kind of still look like that this preseason, a little.
Yeah, but the word was that was the defense they played in college. They told him, because it was a 2-gap system, don't immediately rush off the line because you got to determine, should you go that lane or that lane? So he had to, it took him, they told him to take a pause, but sometimes that was a long ass pause. He couldn't make up his mind. Should I go that way? Should I go that way? And so that's been part of the learning curve. But I love the fact that he wants to learn. He's listened to his coach, and I think he's going to master it. Let's not forget, Gervon Dexter had 6 sacks last year, if I remember correctly, and that's a pretty nice total for an interior defensive lineman. Hey guys, thank you, Tooch, for alerting me that Fitz is having some stomach cramps. He had a medical procedure today, so he's going to sit this one out. But I'm going to play his video so that way we can talk a little bit more football and food because this is really going to whet your appetite. Here, let me find the video, and here it is.
Looking for some good pizza on Chicago's South Side? Head on over to the corner of 26th and Wallace in the Bridgeport neighborhood to Punky's Pizza and Pasta. Punky's at 2600 South Wallace has been serving up great pies, pasta, and sandwiches since 2002. Their thin crust tavern style pie has a crispy thin crust, delicious toppings, plenty of cheese, and a tasty sauce that's not too sweet, not too spicy, but full of flavor. For an appetizer, I recommend their Chicago fries. Waffle fries with the cheddar cheese, Italian beef, and giardiniera. Delicious. Overall, Punky's knocks it out of the park with a 327 on the Fitzometer. That's Punky's Pizza and Pasta at 2600 South Wallace in Chicago, Illinois. Where should I eat next? Comment in the replies, #FitzMagicEats, and check out all of my reviews on my YouTube channel at FitzMagicShy.
He's got stomach cramps because he was eating some of those
spicy giardiniera
fries. Yeah, that's why. It wasn't because medical procedure. But I will tell you something. Shit looked good, man. I've never.
This is the worst segment you've ever added to the show.
What?
Oh my god! All it does is make me hungry halfway through.
I know. I'm gonna get.
We all got the munchies.
I do, man.
I saw that waffle fries with Italian beef and giardiniera and cheese.
Holy
I'm like,
shit,
why didn't I think of inventing that?
No shit. And they call it Chicago fries, and so that's the perfect name to make $1 million. Absolutely, man.
Is it?
I gotta get over there, man. Yeah. Danikin, when you order pizza, and you live in Atlanta, so they don't have Chicago style deep dish there, do they?
No, they don't. Now, you do have a couple of places that I can go to that have some, like there's a Nancy's Pizza out here and things like
nice.
that. So, yeah, so I've gone to them a few times, and I get the tavern style when I go, usually. Because you can't find the tavern style, anywhere besides Chicago, really. And then, of course, you can,
True.
The deep dish is good. The deep dish is good, but tavern style is where it is for me.
Yeah. Yep. Me too.
I have to admit, when I'm having beer, I'll eat any fucking kind of pizza. Detroit.
As long as it's pizza, I don't give a shit.
I don't care. But the Lou Malnati's butter crust deep dish pizza is probably number one. Then I probably would say a tavern style pizza from most places in Chicago.
Is there an Aldo meter for that?
for that Lou Malnati's, I'll give it a 344. By the way, if you don't know Fitz's Fitzometer, it's basically analogous to a baseball batting average. So
I think the only average higher
327 is nice.
Yes, I'll take that anytime.
I think the only average higher than Lou's for me is Pequod's. But Pequod's is like that perfect blend of Chicago style and Detroit style, you know? And it hits all the right notes for me, man.
Did you ever
if
go
you like
to
that
the
deep dish stuff.
The original Pequod's?
Oh, of course, yeah.
In Martin Grove, like in this house. It was like in his house.
Oh,
it was
really?
like a dining room in a house in Martin Grove. Yeah. He had like a dining room attached to it. The floor sloped downwards if you walked to the back of the house.
I'm down in Atlanta. I order Lou Malnati's all the time, and they I get them delivered here. And, it's not the same, but it's close. It's close.
Yeah,
Lou's was our first and last meal in Chicago. So
yeah, nice.
When we went a couple weeks ago, it was first and last. Yeah, I would have liked to find somewhere else, but I don't know how messed up I got that. My family's not a bunch of pizza eaters, so I guess I gotta house one all by myself, and then I just feel disgusting afterwards. So
you're fucking 10 years old. What are you feeling disgusting about? I hate you, young guys.
Aldo, did you get your let's see, when was it? Was it last show that he got the extension, or
who got the extension?
We talked about Tyson Bagent. Yeah, we talked about it last show, right?
He got it Wednesday, yes. Yeah, last Wednesday.
We're the first ones. Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Zay Frazier mystery.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate to speculate, but I want to speculate, Aldo.
I know
what's going on.
Out of respect for him, we shouldn't speculate, but I hear you. I do. Somebody today, when I posted Ryan Post's video of him talking about Frazier's condition, somebody speculated that maybe Frazier has autism. And I'm like, well, where would you get that speculation from? He said that his son has autism, and so perhaps that's what Frazier was going through, because sometimes that's hard to detect, I guess.
Dr. Truth. I don't know about that.
The Epstein files. Yeah.
Okay. We appreciate the thoughts.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hope the guy is well, and it sounds like he could play next year. He's going to be in camp next year. So if everything goes right with rehabilitation, but I can't speculate. I don't have no idea.
The first year of Ryan Pohl's regime with Matt Eberflus had the Alan Williams mystery and what was the other stuff, right? They were plagued by these
running backs coach. Yeah.
Human resources, personnel problems, whatever it is.
Yeah. And now Jay Cutler is going to jail. And,
there was another guy. The running backs coach got let go because of some other human resources issue. Now Zay Frazier, who knows? But I mean, look, this is another. I wish I could flash up. It's significant to note that John A. Walker's wearing the Tyler Scott jersey. Is that his name, Tyler Scott?
Tyler, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Scott. So maybe there's probably no chance of him coming back. That was a fourth round pick. Zach Pickens is gone. We just heard of him. That was what, a second round pick or third round pick?
Third round pick.
Third round. So I don't think Ryan Poles has drafted a player in the third round that's stuck with the team. And not only that,
Dexter.
He completely avoided the third round by picking 3 second rounders in this past draft.
Dexter was a second rounder, and a third rounder was Zach Pickens, Karan Amagaje, and Velus Jones. Those were those are his 3 third round picks. So
just for reference, league average is somewhere between 22 and 36% of all third rounders actually end up making the team. Long term.
Wow. It's like
I'm surprised it's that low.
It's very low. That's another thing that I was thinking about too. And it's not just that, because a lot of people were talking about Ryan Poles. He doesn't have any Pro Bowlers. He hadn't drafted a Pro Bowler yet, things like that. First of all, I would just want to address that real quick. I don't want to go on a tangent or anything like that. But in 2022, he didn't have a first round pick.
Yep.
In 2023, he did, right? He got Darnell Wright. Will Darnell Wright make a Pro Bowl at some point in his career? Do you guys think?
Big maybe.
I hope so.
Big
Big
maybe.
maybe.
Right?
A year ago, I
If he
thought,
moves to left tackle.
Okay, that's fine. So that's his first round pick there. That's his first round pick that year. The following year is Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. Do you think they make a Pro Bowl?
Yes.
At some point in their career?
Absolutely.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Look, if Mitch Trubisky can make a Pro Bowl.
Loveland.
Yeah,
Loveland.
really.
What about Loveland? Do you think he makes
Hell
it?
yes. Hell yes.
TBD.
So to me, it's a 3, maybe 4 that probably make it. And then think about this, people. Think about this. When next time somebody says Poles ain't picked one, blah, blah, blah. You know, where's the first round picks this time, the third? 34% of first round picks, only 34% make the Pro Bowl at least one time in their career. Of first round picks. So when you go to second, third, and people are complaining and crying about him giving away a 4th round pick or not sign, the guys not staying on the team, that's exponentially lower than 34%.
I'm sorry.
The success rate for first rounds is 34%. It only goes down from there.
Didn't the Patriots just cut their former first round pick today or yesterday or something?
Who's that?
Like Cole Strange.
Cole Strange was a first rounder? Wow.
He was a first rounder. Look, he was surprised by that fact too. But the fact of the matter is he was a first rounder and he got cut. So,
I love it.
Look, your general numbers are just to back up some of what Danikin's saying here. Third rounders hit between 22 and 36% of the time. That's just a general estimate. League wide, by the way, not just Bears numbers, league wide. If you want to move that up to 4th rounders, you're at a 16 to 20% hit rate. So overall day 2 success, somewhere between the 25 to 35% range, which means that if you're adding those numbers up, that 50 to 70% of all picks in round 2 or later don't work out, period. Point blank. A lot of people want to jump on Ryan Pace, and it's completely understandable. Look, you would hope he hits on at least one of these guys at some point. And it is a little frustrating. Don't get me wrong. I completely share in the frustration. However, in his 34 players that he's drafted over the last 4 years, he has 7 that are considered quality starters, 2 that are considered lower end starters. Those would be Braxton Jones and Tyreek Stevenson. 10 of those players have been cut. 4, most of whom are from this year's draft, are projected as future starters. 4 or 5 of those are developmental pieces, depending on how you look at them. And 6 or 7, again, there's your hedging your bet there, are backups or special teamers. Right? So out of 34 players, 7 are good starters. What's your percentage on that? That's a little higher than 30%.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Sorry, not quite 30%, excuse me. Where does that put it? A little higher than 20, somewhere between 20 and 30%. That's actually not a bad
average. League average.
That's league average. Ryan Poles is a league average GM who lucked into the deal of a lifetime, who didn't screw it up when he got it, and took the guy who was widely considered to be a generational quarterback and then continued on to hire the guy who's considered to be a generational head coach. Like, if this works out the way that supposedly everybody thought it was going to before they wound up on the Bears, it's all going to be fine and dandy. But for some reason, they're on the Bears, so they're going to be micromanaged and scrutinized to all hell.
Oh, yeah.
I have not done an extensive study of this, but I think that if you were to compare most successful general managers, they have had similar hiccups to the one that Ryan Poles has had. The thing is can he recover from that? Can he learn from his mistakes and make better decisions in his acquisition of players and his coaching staff? And the answer right now is sort of leaning yes, because of Ben Johnson and the rest of that coaching staff. It's A+. There's no doubt in my mind that it's A+. And the players that are acquired this year, there's still some question marks. The 3 second rounders aren't going to be on the field much other than Luther Burden. And Colston Loveland, of course, looks like he could be, like Danikin said, he's a guy that is destined for Pro Bowls. So if this draft class proves to be a good one, and Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, and some of the other successful picks from other drafts continue to develop, and even Karan Amegaji just gets better because he's healthy and he's getting reps and reps and reps. Ryan Poles could end up being, on the Mount Rushmore of great general managers in Chicago sports history. That wouldn't be too hard, I guess. But,
what's he got to beat? He's got Jerry Krause, and then he's got he's got Jerry Krause.
Jerry Krause, that's it. That is true, right?
And even still, you put Ryan Poles next to Jerry Krause. Krause doesn't even make it in the picture frame. He's so freaking short.
Donald says Angelo. I guess I would put Angelo there. He took us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
would consider thinking about Angelo in that.
Yeah.
The defense that he put together, you gotta give him credit for that. Yeah. Him, Levy, all of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know any other city where almost winning a Super Bowl gets you a spot on the Mount Rushmore.
Well, but they went to the Super Bowl. They were the NFC conference.
It's true.
champions.
It's more than you can say for the Minnesota Vikings ever in the history of the team. So
Exactly. I mean, I hate to sound like the guy, give the Bears a participation trophy. But the fact of the matter is that they beat all the NFC teams. They won the NFC Conference Championship game. That to me is important. I don't want to shit on that. I remember once David Kaplan says, well, if you don't win the Super Bowl or if you don't win the World Series, it's a wasted season. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's still joy in watching the games. There's still appreciation for making progress.
You're starting to sound like a White Sox fan, man. You're starting to sound like a White Sox. Look, Colson Montgomery hit a home run in 4 straight games, and that's the high point of the year, fellas.
I sound like a Blitz fan. That's what I sound like. I'll take anything. Give me anything. Give me a tie. Donald says he's here for Vikings hate, so let's hate on the Vikings. Well,
sweet.
It's never too early to talk about the first game of the season. You guys have any concerns about?
Have you guys seen the Viking? Have you guys seen the Vikings quarterback depth chart?
It's JJ McCarthy and what else?
Yeah, it's JJ McCarthy, and what else is pretty much it.
They traded away a backup, didn't they?
Sam Howell. God, yes,
that's right.
They traded away Sam Howell, the only other guy who had legitimate. Okay, let me look this up.
And they cut Brett Rippon.
Oh, that's right.
Wow, yeah.
Former Bear, right?
They have
so
Max
who is the
Brosner.
backup quarterback?
Max Brosner and Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. That's right.
Those are your backups in Minnesota. I'm sorry. If JJ McCarthy goes down, this team is FUCKED. They are dead in the water.
I got to give some credit to Kevin O'Connell. I mean, he turned Sam Darnold into a legitimate Pro Bowl quarterback. Sam Darnold. Come on. We were all thinking,
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. They're also carrying seven undrafted free agents on their final 53. That is a massive number.
They only had like 3 or 4 draft picks in this last draft. Maybe that has something to do with it. So,
and I'm sure it does. They've got to develop these guys, but they've also already got 4 players on IR, which is, oh my God, a massive number going into week 1. I mean, and most of these guys are backups, so it's not the end of the world. And then Jordan Addison suspended, so he's not counting towards your roster count either.
Adam Thielen's going to take his place.
Whoa, excuse me. I missed 2 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on IR. Excuse me. Again, most of them are backups, so it is what it is.
Yeah, but that hurts their depth, right? So, and that's important. But I just think that the Bears are totally set up here at home on Monday Night Football against a team that's facing injuries, changes at quarterback, and so forth. Basically, a rookie quarterback. The Bears should win this game 23-10. By at least 13 points.
Well, no, I disagree with you. Ben Johnson, in his years with Detroit, averaged more than 30 points against the Vikings. If the Bears don't put up at least 30, I'm genuinely going to be a little disappointed.
Really?
Genuinely. And I mean that.
Game one.
They can lose this game 35-31, and I would be like, okay, well, Ben Johnson's offense is working. Dennis Allen's got some work to do. You know what I mean? Like, I expect 30 points out of this offense, and if not 30, then damn close to it. I expect on the higher side of 20. You know, I don't expect this to be a 3-touchdown affair. I want to see 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals minimum. I want 5 scoring drives out of this team in this game.
So at the beginning of this show, we said be patient, and Zim was like, "No, you got to be patient with Caleb."
No.
And now you're saying, "Hey, I'm going to be disappointed if I don't get 30."
This is being patient. I want to be very clear on this. This is being patient. This is just expecting Ben Johnson to pick up where he left off.
I got you.
Look, how many times last year did the Bears put up 20 plus points and Caleb Williams didn't even throw a touchdown? You know what I mean? Like, it's very possible. I think it's not out of the realm of possibilities. I think I don't know. It's optimistic, obviously. I'm hyped up for the beginning of the season, but I want to see Ben Johnson pick up where he left off. I want to see him continue to dismantle the NFC North. I want to see him, continue to do what he's already done, but with the roster that he's got in front of him, where like Caleb can get them down the field and then they just run it in for 3 touchdowns and then kick 2 field goals. And like Caleb ends up with, 210 on 16 of 24. And, DeAndre Swift has a touchdown and Travis Homer has a touchdown and Roshan Johnson has a touchdown. And, that's a very reasonable thing to expect, I think.
I don't know. I think you're not giving enough props to Brian Flores and that Vikings defense.
I'm not.
Because of the players, or because you think Ben Johnson will outwit him and Caleb will
Ben Johnson has had his number for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but that's a different squad with a team that's gone through multiple reps and working together and not having pre-snap penalties like we've been doing.
That's valid. This team is very different. And look, I won't be surprised by any means if it's less than that. In reality, I think you're like, 21-13 hopes. Like, I don't think that's unrealistic. 21-17. Like, I don't think it's unrealistic at all. At the same time, if the Bears get blown the fuck out, like 34-14, I wouldn't be surprised on that side either way. Like, I have no idea what to expect going into week 1, and my only hope is to be optimistic here. So
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
I think the Bears opened as 1.5 favorites.
That's all.
They close now. It's Minnesota's favored by 2 now. That's the line movement. So the odds makers and bettors are behind Minnesota on this one. Totals at 43.5. I like the under in this game, man. I don't think there'll be a lot of points scored. I think both offenses will struggle.
Sorry, you said 43.5 for the over under?
For the total.
For the total?
Over under, yeah.
Danikin, you like to lay it back?
That's a good number.
On Bears games? Danikin, you like to?
Man, not recently, man.
Yeah,
same here.
Valid.
If I bet on the Bears, they lose.
Bet against them, yeah.
if I bet against them, they win.
I made a lot of money on betting against the White Sox to win 2 years ago. I made a lot of money. I said, okay, I'm cashing in. I'm getting off this app.
Oh yeah, man! I was winning bottles. of whiskey and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Betting against the White Sox. Betting against them. Yeah.
I got to gamble at your place winning whiskey. That sounds good to me.
The Vikings they're a road favorite. So we're looking at a home dog situation on Monday, September 8th? September 8th.
I really don't love their roster looking at it. I really don't.
What, the Bears or the Vikings?
No, the Vikings.
Their defense will be good. I don't know about their offense. I mean,
their defense will be good if everybody's healthy.
Tough.
If they suffer even one injury, all of a sudden, there's a massive kink in the chain, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this team is shallow.
Yeah, the Justin Jefferson's still a hell of a player.
Really he's got to have a quarterback that can get it there, though.
And
know?
he has not had much of a camp either because of that hamstring injury
He's
he had.
been injured as well. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this really shapes up favorably for the Bears. I
genuinely think it's going to be a stinker to cap off week 1. I really do. If I had to take a guess,
you're
16,
being optimistic.
13. No, I mean I am. I generally am being optimistic, but to sit back and look at this like through an unbiased scope and look at these two teams, you have a second-year quarterback with a rookie head coach, and then you have effectively a rookie quarterback with a shallow team, and his number 2 receiver is suspended, and the guy replacing him has only been with him for a week and a half. You know, that's hard for both teams to come into. That's hard, man.
Yeah,
that defensive line on the Vikings is pretty tough though too.
Yeah, I mean, who scares you in the Vikings? The coaching staff, frankly. You know, those are
Kevin O'Connell, a smart coach.
Yeah, and a good defensive coordinator.
The reason I think the Bears can win that game, and we'll get into this a whole lot more next week, but the reason I think the Bears can win this game is because for once, I don't think they have the worst head coach. I don't think they have the worst quarterback. You know, ultimately, and I preached this a ton last season when I went into these things, but like you look at when you have a toss-up game, look at the quarterback. Who's the better quarterback? That's who you pick to win. So I feel like this is kind of a toss-up game going into week 1 with all of the other factors combined. Who's the better quarterback, JJ McCarthy or Caleb Williams?
Caleb.
I mean, Caleb Williams, right? Without a doubt. Even if we're just looking at their college tape, like it's Caleb Williams. So if I have to make a pick, it's Caleb Williams. But then if I go ahead and I look at their coaches, I'm like, man, Kevin O'Connell's really proven a lot, but he hasn't won a whole lot either. Whereas
14 games last year.
Well, but so did Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson went 2 games further than Kevin O'Connell. So, you know, you look at that and you say, okay, all of a sudden this is leaning in the Bears' favor. I think that, you know, even when you strip back our biases and you start looking at this from an objective point of view, and I take out my meatball side of it all, because look, the meatball in me says 34-17 all day. But like when I start looking at this a little more objectively, I'm like, you know, a 24-17 game could really be had by the Bears here. A 17-13 game could really be had by the Bears here.
Yeah.
You know, 17-13 and the game ends because JJ McCarthy can't convert on a 4th down driving to try to get the ball into touchdown range. Yeah. That's a very realistic scenario that we see in a couple weeks here. So
and again, like Zim said, we'll talk a lot more about this next week. But one thing that I am a little bit concerned about, it's going to be a really, really physical matchup. You know, Flores is going to have his defense coming out there hitting hard. Allen is going to have his defense out there. I hope that the Bears come out of this, you know, without any significant injuries, because it'll be a short week for them. They'll play on Sunday.
We've already got injuries.
We already got what?
Against Detroit.
We've already got injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Jaquan Brisker left practice today. And Austin Booker, arguably our best pass rusher in the preseason, he's out. Yeah, we lost one of our better backup cornerbacks, and Terrell Smith.
To follow the line of thinking that was going along with the Tyson Bagent extension last week, you know, Kyle Hamilton just got an extension, so he's primed to get traded. So I think that the Bears should just trade their 1st-round pick and Jaquan Brisker for Kyle Hamilton, because apparently that's what they're going to do with Tyson Bagent. So
I threw one out there just for, you know, to see what people would say. But Justin Fields wants DJ Moore in New York. All they got is Garrett Wilson over there, and Justin would love to have DJ over there. So what if the New York Jets general manager called Ryan Poles and said, listen, I'll give you Hall, our running back, and I'll give you a 2nd-round draft pick for DJ Moore. What are you guys saying?
You gotta think about that. You really gotta think about that.
Right?
If we're getting a draft pick too, I think I gotta consider it real hard.
All in a
running back. Yeah.
I mean, Ben Johnson might be pissed off, but Geez, I
don't
gave you
know.
Luther Burden, man.
Brees Hall and DeAndre Swift are very similar players, though.
Yeah, true. Very true. And I'm not sure, I think they got another good back over there. But anyway, one other thing I saw on the internet, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. Somebody posted this. Would you rather have Nagy coaching Caleb, or Ben coaching
my notes.
Mitch? What do you think? This is a great question.
This is so hard.
I'm taking Ben with Mitch.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm taking Ben with Mitch too.
Yeah.
All right, just to play contrarian, I'll take Nagy with Caleb.
No, I can't. No,
I can't do Nagy. I like Caleb. I just can't do
Here's
Nagy.
the thing, man. That 2018 season, that was something special, and Mitch really fucked up in a lot of crucial situations. And a lot of people forget, coming out into 2019, they had a hell of a comeback against Denver to win their first game of the season that should have carried the momentum through the rest of that team. And instead, Mitchell Trubisky crumbled in some key situations. So
wasn't he a rookie that season?
No, that was his third season, if I remember right.
I think it was second.
No, rookie was 2017, second year was 2018, third year was 2019.
Oh, okay. 2018, I thought you were talking about. Yeah.
No, I'm talking
2019. You're talking about his third
2019,
season.
where they came out hot. They came out and lost their first game after the double doink, which everybody was like, fuck, here we go again. And then they came out in Denver and they won on a walk-off field goal by Eddie Pinheiro. I won't forget because I was there for it. All right. So, but I mean, that game had all the momentum that team needed, and their quarterback did not hold up under the pressure. Allen Robinson started to kind of devolve within himself for whatever reason. The play caller had to kind of scale everything back because the team wasn't responding correctly to what he wanted. I stand by it. I genuinely think if they hit that double doink in 2018, Mitchell Trubisky has an entirely different career trajectory.
Oh no, man! Nagy became so predictable. He became so predictable.
Yep.
With his play calling, I could call the plays before they happened, bro.
But he didn't have a choice when you look at I shouldn't even say the roster that he had with the quarterback that he had. The quarterback couldn't handle more than what he was calling.
I mean,
I think.
I don't know, man. I think it's Nagy was the bigger problem. He was the bigger issue in that situation.
I think both of them sucked truly.
They really did.
I do.
It's a chicken or the egg situation.
Yeah, I do give Nagy credit because in his first year with the Bears, he realized that Trubisky was so bad that he had to come up with the Santa sleighs play and other trick plays in order to create points because he saw in practice that Trubisky was missing wide open guys on the field because he could not get off that first progression. And so that's
a sign of a bad coach, not a bad quarterback. Sorry.
Why do you say that?
A good coach, a good teacher, a good leader should be able to develop people and be able to encourage them to look beyond their natural scope of things, to be able to figure things out, slowly but surely. You have to be able to teach people. And I don't think that Nagy was able to teach anybody on the Bears a whole lot. And I think that's even evident, like when you go back and look at the interviews between these guys, when they look at like what happened on those teams, like why didn't it work out? They were like, oh, we just had to be better. And it's like, but why did you have to be better? And they're like, well, we just had to be. And it's like, so you don't even know, like that's a major red flag. Like, come on.
Historically,
Nagy was gimmicky. He was gimmicky.
He was gimmicky because he couldn't succeed without being gimmicky.
And the problem though with Nagy is that he was so predictable. You knew what he was going to do before he did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody did, not just the fans. The other defenses knew. Now he was the type of player we talk about offensive geniuses when they talk about coaching, right? Like a Ben Johnson. Kyle Shanahan, right? They say he's an offensive genius. There's a lot of people that hate Kyle Shanahan. I like him. The reason I like him is because he can do several different things. He can make you a passing offense. He can turn you into a running game. He can You know, this running back goes down, he puts another one in, and the system's going to start. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He accentuates the players, right? Nagy couldn't do that, in my opinion. All Nagy did was work my play, run my play. Let's do a gimmick. And it was predictable. He asked players to do things that they could not do, that they weren't proficient at, and that was the problem.
I thought I had forgotten all this stuff, so you guys are really fucking
torturing us. No, whoever came up with that question, I'd like to strangle.
I know. Thank you for making me relive those 4 years.
Although you introduced the question, though.
I did.
Yeah, someone had it on X, though.
I had it saved. I was going to bring it up later.
Yeah,
Be mad at me, too.
Yeah.
All right. You guys got anything you want to bring up before we pull the plug on this? Because we do have to talk a little pop culture, because we promised that to our audience. So, you know, a piece of music or a movie or a TV show that's been streaming. But first, is there any football stuff that you want to introduce?
One last thing. Let's just say Braxton Jones fails in his comeback at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to bring in, well, our choices are either, you know, Theo Benedette or Ozzie Trapillo or Karan Amagaji at left tackle. Even if Braxton Jones gets injured or re-injures himself, if Trapillo is say our 6th best offensive lineman, but his better position is right tackle. Why wouldn't
you're really?
I know I'm working it, but getting our 5 best offensive linemen on the field at the same time should be the goal. And if Darnell Wright, maybe he's our best. I hate to switch guys, and people are going to give me grief about suggesting that we move Darnell Wright to left tackle, but we kind of botched the whole left tackle thing as it is this season. Trapillo didn't pan out. Amagaji didn't pan out. Braxton Jones is still injured. But getting our 5 guys on the field at the same time, I know, or Joe Thuney to left tackle, which I don't think is a good idea either. But Darnell Wright, he's athletic.
Let me say this.
I think getting him there at left tackle would be our 5 best guys.
I think you may be right, but we won't know, because out of the 10 names up on that screen, everybody during camp, even Thuney, played at a different position other than the position they were slated for. Even Thuney and Dahlman took reps at different positions. Yeah, Dahlman played the guard, Thuney played the right guard position, just for practice sake. I have not seen any word at all. The Darnell Wright took a snap at left tackle. Early on in camp, Flu said Darnell Wright's going to be the right tackle. And he didn't say that's firm, but he said, I said Flu's. Ben Johnson.
Is he still around? No.
I can't get that guy out of my mind. It's going to take an exorcism to get that fucker out of my mind. There you go.
No.
Look at that. That's like a Blair in The Exorcist vomiting on my face. The power of Christ compels you. Anyway, so Darnell Wright just has not taken a rep at left tackle. I just don't see that happening. I think
I know. I do too. I agree with you on this, but is it a mistake we didn't get him and look at all left tackle?
Yes, I agree.
It's hard, man. It's hard for me. It's hard for me on this one, because you want to have everybody prepared for everything that could go wrong, or whatever could happen. But at the same time, left tackle and right tackle was so different, just from the stance and being able to kick out of that stance, right? And when you start dropping back, if you're muscle trained to just do it this way, to flip over to the other side without any practice, it ain't gonna happen, bro.
Thanks, Dan.
I just don't see it. I don't see it.
It's the entire reason that Braxton Jones is having issues. It's because he's still recovering from his injury. At the end of the day, like that's what it is. If he was healthy, I don't think we'd have any of this debate or discussion. He would have won the job outright, because as Poles put it, Trapillo hit the wall. He's not progressing the way they expected him to, and it's unfortunate for him. but it allowed for Benedict to come in and, really take advantage of the position presented to him. And, I don't know. They didn't make any more moves today. They didn't sign anybody. They didn't trade for anybody.
No, there were two moves. They brought back Jalen Johnson,
Jalen Jones.
Jalen Jones, excuse me.
At the position, I mean. They didn't make any offensive line moves, so they're going with what they're going with, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, at least from our perspective, Wright's only going to get better as a left tackle or as a right tackle. And Jones is also only going to get better from what we saw in preseason because he's only going to get healthier. He's only going to get stronger. He's only going to be able to anchor better. So, because that's ultimately what it looked like he was struggling with is being able to put that anchor down and really like be that brick wall. The second he got crossed up a little bit is the second that he lost his block. And of course, guys are going to see that on tape. But
who's that you talking about? You talking about Braxton?
Braxton, yeah.
He ain't got no anchor, bro.
Well, he's broken.
That's the butt. He ain't got it, man. He don't like that's his problem.
I know.
That's his biggest problem.
His lower body is thin. He's got no sand in his pants.
So that's just it. Like if he can recover from this injury and be good by like week 6, he'll be fine. But otherwise, I mean, the Bears are either going to make a trade at the deadline if they think they're contenders this year, or they're going to go out and spend their first round pick on an offensive tackle like they probably should have this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I'm not banging on him because Braxton, I believe, is a good swing tackle. He could be a swing tackle. He could be a guy that backs up.
But they got 3 swing tackles on the roster right now.
That's it. That's the problem. He's not a starter.
Got a lot of swing tackles. Look, Braxton Jones is out of contract after this season.
Can we just? I feel like it's been my entire life as a Bears fan. It's like we all get hyped up. We all get to this point. We're all like, yeah, we finally got a receiver. Yeah, we finally got an offensive line. Yeah, we finally got a quarterback. But that left tackle, man, that left tackle is so sus. Like, and it doesn't matter what year it's been, whether it was 06, whether it was 2010, whether it was 2012, whether it was 2018, whether it's 2024, like we're always concerned about that left tackle, man. Like they seem to get every other position correct at one point or another. That's the one where it's like, we got Orlando Pace. It's like, bro, he's 40. What are we doing here?
See, I do want to say this. Like Donald says, we haven't had a left tackle since John Tate. I think we've been too hard on our left tackles. I don't think Charles Leno was as bad as so many people made it.
He was aggressively average.
He was aggressively average. Very well said. That's a great point. A great quote. I'm going to steal it multiple times. But, when you look at the state of the left tackle position in the NFL, guys like Charles Leno and Braxton Jones are average.
Mm-hmm.
Because there just aren't that many, because of the college football game has not been churning out left tackles that are of any great acclaim, with the exception of 1 or 2. So I think that Braxton could get better, but it's going to take several games into the season, just like last season when he started slowly because of the injury he came off of from camp. This season is going to be the same. He's going to get beat inside a number of times, but eventually he should be fine, and Ben Johnson is smart enough to scheme to help him.
We're not giving up on Trapillo. We're not giving up on Jones.
Not even a little bit.
We're just saying that the Bears kind of mishandled this left tackle situation.
Well,
we had an injured starter, and they planned on Ozzie. They could have drafted Arante Ursary at the 41. Instead, we took a wide receiver. And I love Luther Burden. I'm just saying, like, who was it that just said earlier in the show that we have to control the trenches or build through the trenches? Was that Dan? That was Danikin, right?
Danikin, yes.
We have 4 really good offensive linemen, but the most critical point, the blind side protection, we haven't managed well.
Yeah.
I just.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like the Bears are always in a situation where they can't really get their hands on one, right?
Yeah.
And all these guys come available in free agency, and you see the Bears fans, they're like, "Oh, we need is he available? He's available, bro." If he's available, Aldo just said it. These guys they're not a plethora of them. They're not a ton of them, right? So if they're available, there's a reason why they're available. You know what I'm saying? If you got a left tackle sitting out there and we can just go sign a left tackle, Trent Williams don't become available unless he wants to be available in Washington. You see what I'm saying? He's not available. They weren't thinking about trading him. When you get an offensive lineman, a left tackle, you want him for 10, 15 years if you can have him. And you're not letting them go anywhere because they're hard to find. They're like quarterbacks, bro. They're hard to find.
The Chiefs could have drafted. They're short on wide receivers. They could have drafted Luther Burden. Instead, they took a left tackle. You know, they understand the importance. You know, we drafted Rome Odunze at 10. I love Rome. I think Rome would probably end up being the most targeted wide receiver on this team this season. He had 5 targets and less than a half of action against the Chiefs. But we're taking skill position players when we should be building the trenches. The Chiefs, they took Josh Simmons. I don't know who the team was that took Ursary, but that guy's starting. In fact, the guy that Ursary replaced, they just cut.
Yeah.
So,
I know
where did he go? Was he out?
They're talking about trading Cam Robinson, who the Bears would probably appreciate having Cam Robinson.
Well, and they got rid of Texans traded Tunsil, right? Last season. And the reason why is because they thought that he had become toxic in the offensive line room. He was upset, not getting along with the other offensive linemen. So they just wanted to reinvent that offensive line. I remember Greg Gabriel saying that Irsay was, somebody said it here, was stiffer than a dick on a wedding night or something like that. That's one of Greg Gabrielisms.
Yeah, he's on the Texans, right? Okay.
Right. But that's the weird thing is that Ozzie Trapillo is the one that has looked stiff. You know, like Baldnigger said on Gabriel Talks Football on Monday or Tuesday, he said, Ozzie Trapillo, because he's so tall, it's difficult for him to bend at the waist, and he gets caught standing up too high. And he's got to master
Why
that.
he's not starting.
That's exactly right. At any of the two tackle positions. Indeed. All right, guys. We got just a few minutes left. Have you guys seen anything or heard anything or anything regarding pop culture that you want to talk about? I will put a ban on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. We've heard enough.
I'm doing a Taylor Swift magazine at work. We just had a setback because we had to add some pages into the magazine for the engagement. Added 2 pages today at work.
Wow.
Taylor Swift People magazine special issue.
I will tell you something. The album cover on her alternate album cover is kind of sexy. She's got her hands up on the wall. She's bent at the waist. I'm like, holy shit, man. Yeah, my anyway.
I saw the second half of the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I saw the second part. What is it? Final Reckoning. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. The latest. Didn't you see it at the theater, Aldo?
No, not the one that just came out this past summer. No,
okay.
No, I haven't seen a Mission Impossible movie since the one before that, which was 3-4 years ago. I reviewed it on your old show.
Right. The second part's really great, man. It's like all the Tom Cruise doing the craziest of ass stunts. So, but yeah, I mean, it's long. You know, it's almost 3 hours long. But I don't want to give away anything. But it's really good, man. It could be the end of the Mission Impossible series. They could end it here if they wanted to.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, really good.
I gotta check it out. I went through my little stage of being tired of Tom Cruise, but I gotta give the guy props, man. He makes good action movies. He does his own stunts. He cares about the profession and the art.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear he's sort of like Ben Johnson, yelling at crew members who are fucking off.
He's a perfectionist, but
he really is.
He's arguably the biggest movie star of all time.
Yeah, I you know, stat wise with box office dollars, that's certainly the case. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
Now with tickets sold, it's always hard to, because you know, before there was TV, there were a lot of tickets sold for guys like John Wayne movies and shit like that.
Yep. Highly recommended though, movie.
I'll check it out.
A fitting end of the series if they end it there.
Izam, what you been up to other than working your ass off and taking care of your family?
Yeah, working my ass off, taking care of my family. But in between, I have found some time, and to anybody who enjoys music out there a little more than the average person, somebody who likes to sit down and kind of enjoy it, I just want to encourage you all to start going through that backlog of albums you have. I know that you've got it. We all have it. I just recently started breaking through mine. I went through 3 albums the other day. It takes less time than you think. It took me an hour and a half while I was working. I just listened to it. I found a few new songs to add to my playlist. I found out that one of the albums on my backlog was complete dog shit. So, it's just enjoy what you enjoy and take the time to do it, because not a lot of us take the time anymore. And that's an important thing to do. So that's my broad call out to all of you out there is take the time to enjoy your backlog of albums. Cause again, we've all got one. I've still got another 10 or so on mine that I need to get through. But it also encouraged me to listen to some other albums that I was like, I haven't listened to that one in a while. And, things like that. On the video game side of things, I played a game recently called The Forgotten City, a very relatively short game, often on sale on Steam for $10 or less for any PC gamers out there. I don't know about its console availability, but The Forgotten City, it is like a sort of history mystery game. Little bit of a horror element to it, and just lots of different endings. Very interesting. Something that kind of piqued my interest, made me think about like ancient mythology in some ways that I hadn't before, and kind of again,
You've thought about ancient mythology in the past before?
quite regularly, yes.
Damn, I'm impressed.
I have a wealth of knowledge. I am great for trivia contests if anybody ever needs a fourth. But no, it really scratched an itch for me in a way that I hadn't really thought about in a little while, and it really did a good job. So The Forgotten City, very graphically impressive, and if you like those kind of mystery exploration games, very much enjoyable, and pretty short too. It only took me 4 to 6 hours really to go through like the main storyline, which for a video game I feel is very short. Lastly,
I couldn't do it. I'll play
4 to 6 hours. Look, you sit down for an hour at a time, that's only 4 to 6 days worth of playing. It's really not that bad. Think about it that way. How many days do you sit down and play Madden? 50, 60 throughout the year?
No,
I'm asking for a tenth of that.
Yeah. I just got back into Madden, and I can't keep up with all the advancements in the controls. It's like tickle your butthole, and he does a spin move and shit. I can't. I want to go back to Madden 96, where I just press one button and the guy does it all, and I win. I did that.
I got one last thing.
Okay.
On more of the traditional side of pop culture that we look at this show on TVs and movie, or TV and movies, excuse me. I recently have begun rewatching the show Community, which is somewhat of an unappreciated gem, I feel like, that not a lot of people have looked through. Created by Dan Harmon, also the creator of Rick and Morty, which is a much more popular show that many people know about. If you enjoy the kind of humor, it is this similar sort of intelligence level of humor, but much more slapstick at the same time. Very, very fun show. The way I equate it in my brain is like, if you enjoy The Big Bang Theory, you would probably enjoy Community, because it is more authentic nerd humor.
I've never seen it, but I love the cast on that show. I mean,
yes.
Geez. Great.
Yes,
cast.
5 seasons in a movie, Donald. Thank you very much. 5 seasons in a movie. We're still waiting for the movie. But no, it's a phenomenal show. The last couple seasons are a little off the rails and unhinged, but got a great cast with Danny Pudi, Donald Glover, Allison Brie, Joel McHale, Chevy Chase. In the last couple seasons, they get a couple extras in there that are different from who they normally have. But the reason I say it's probably for fans of like The Big Bang Theory is the easiest way I can describe it with The Big Bang Theory is that Big Bang is for nerd comedy that was written by people that weren't nerds. basically. People who like knew a bunch of nerds and they were like, oh yeah, they thought that was funny, and then they wrote it into a TV show. Whereas like Community is actually written like by the nerds. It's by the guys who were like on the fringes of the popular group, and they wrote it and they were like, man, let's make it funny. Yes, Ken Jeong is also in the show.
Yeah.
It's one of his first like really big roles outside of The Hangover. But yeah, absolutely hilarious show. Touches on a lot of like sensitive topics in a really hilarious way, and really just explores nerdism and human consciousness at the same time in a way that makes you just laugh out loud. Love that show. I always revisit it,
give it a
and
shot.
I have to suggest it. So,
By the way, did you ever see Tooch in the porno movie The Big Bang?
you know, I've heard of it,
All right,
but I had to keep my mouth shut through the whole thing. So.
you better. Danikin, what do you got for us?
Man, shout out to Zim, man, for the music take, right? For the music take, I like that. You know, listen to some things, go back in time. That got me thinking because I have a collection of records, like vinyls, right? So I listen to vinyl records from time to time and play them and all of that type of stuff. It's fun to do, man. You get to hear some things on vinyl that you don't normally hear in regular music. It's cool. It's cool, you know, and especially in different genres, because you can play different genres, whether it be hip hop, whether it be jazz, whatever. You know what I mean? And everything is so different. Even the music, the real instruments and everything that's played. You know, so if you got records, man, play records too, man. I piggyback off of Zim on that one, but I wanted to mention something. It just came across it, right? I just thought it was kind of funny because I think it's pretty cool. Rapper French Montana is now engaged to the Princess of Dubai. And I sent and although I sent you a DM, but you see her picture. It's a picture of them in the DM if you want to look at it right quick. But yeah, she's pretty nice looking, man. And
I'm gonna call it up in a second.
That's a nice little come up right there. If you get married to the, engaged to the Princess of Dubai. Yeah.
Did you say come? All right. Let me load it. It'll just take a few seconds. But yeah, I mean, this woman has some curves to her, bro. I am not
share that up here.
Yeah. I happen to no, not her. It's spinning. It'll be up any second. But I happen to I know a lot of people are against women who are this shapely, but I personally like it. The more curves, the better. Look at that. Fucking Tooch thinks he's back on the porno movie set.
Is the prince that old guy in the middle?
No. That's her father, I think.
She's definitely got that Kardashian thing going. Holy moly. Yeah. I would definitely ask her to drop the purse and pick it up for my enjoyment.
That's money, man. That's money. You got plenty of money coming this way.
Can you imagine? Can you effing imagine marrying into wealth and then you got to go to bed with her? Like, wow. Life sucks. I gotta F her for all this money. What else you got, Danikin? Anything else?
Man, that's it, man. I just came across that. I said, let me shoot it out there.
I love that one. I love that. Yeah. We will during the Bears season. We usually have our sexy weather girl come on and tell us what the weather is going to be like for the game. So where everybody, all the horny guys in the chat are looking forward to that. They hate the idea of us playing indoors because then our sexy weather lady will go away. All right, guys. Why don't we go around the table and do a shout out or whatever you want to say for these last couple minutes of the show, starting with you, Zim. He's pretending not to hear me. Can you hear me? No. All right, Tooch.
I got a public service announcement every year. It seems to come earlier than ever. So public service announcement. Pumpkin spice is back. It's that time of year when pumpkin spice is in everything. So if you're struggling with your addiction, 1-800-74-SPICE, Aldo.
That is wild. Is that an actual ad?
No.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
It should be, though.
No, yeah, it's the type of thing I would have come up with if I was working in marketing.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Tooch?
Friday, let's see. We got some shows coming up. Friday's weekend sports betting tips. Three of us were 3-0 last week.
Wow.
So college football
That's
week 0.
money.
College football week 1 we'll be talking on Friday. Lots of good games, including Texas, Ohio State. Come on,
Yes.
we're all going to be watching that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then Saturday is the Barroom Fantasy Football Live Draft Show, which is always fun.
That's Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday night. You're not going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm always home, so.
Okay. Do we fill that last spot, or is there a spot for Danikin?
No, I think they're all full, according to
okay.
Joe, because I was looking for one for, what's his name?
Because
Carl.
Ross had left, yeah.
It's all good, man. Y'all didn't want to lose anyway.
Might have to start a league now.
Yeah.
I ran a league last year, Danikin, and I fucked up the scoring system. People were getting 50 points for scoring a field goal from 50 yards out. I was getting yelled at by people. Sorry. It's for free. We're not paying for money. Sim, any shout-outs? Any final words? I see that you got new headsets.
Yeah, I said losers got to shave their heads, so I've got a lot to lose here, all right?
No shit.
Wait, really?
Well, half the league already shaves their heads, so, I figured for half the guys, it's no loss. And for me, it's a big reason to not draft 4 tight ends in the first 4 rounds this year. So,
yeah.
No,
That's wild.
Did we mention fantasy football Goon kickoff on Friday night?
Oh, that's right. Yep, Friday night. Man, I'm
Friday night. We're kicking off. We're gonna do that whole dealio. I'm gonna give you some of my strategies. Tooch is gonna give you some of his. Adam and Joe will also be around for theirs. So those are the 2 you're probably gonna want to listen to.
That show, yeah.
That's quite a night, Friday night. Weekend sports betting tips, Willis Twins, and fantasy football. Wow,
yeah,
nice.
Big night.
Man.
Big night, but we're trying to get it in. We know Labor Day weekend is a big weekend for fantasy drafts, so we want to try and get that in before a lot of people make their draft. We'll be answering your questions as well as giving out our top 5 at each position, including some sleepers that we've all got. Hint, hint, Ollie Gordon, hint, hint.
I wanted the Bears to take him.
I would have loved for the Bears to take him, but I tell you what, he's in a great position out in Miami, and I will tell you so much more about it on Friday night. And Adam is going to make a really good argument against me, so much to the point where I might regret drafting him. Because let me tell you guys, if you don't know Adam Sham, the man on the Fantasy Football Goon, he is the man to listen to for all
man with the plan.
Danikin, if you want to test, go up against my man Adam Sham and Joe Randall. He's good too. Those guys.
Well,
maybe I should do a barroom league, invite 10, 12 guys. And
Joe should be good this year. Joe's good about every other year, and last year he was pretty bad. So.
He's like Montez Sweat, right? Like Danikin.
I'm a former champion, bro. What happened?
Tooch is very good.
Former champ.
Yeah,
money
I've been
time.
in the championship game for our league as well. So, I feel like we've got some weight to throw around on that show. We know what we're talking about. We're not just throwing stuff out at the wall like we are on this show. Not to say that we don't know what we're talking about here, but we're able to back it up a little more on fantasy. We're able to back it up a little more on Fantasy Football Goon. Outside of that, no, just a big shout out to you 3 guys. Danikin, your first show as an official member of the crew. I welcome you. I really appreciate having you. It is so great to have yet another contrasting viewpoint on all of these
Everybody
things.
contrasts with you, bro.
Well,
Wasn't hard
look,
to
man.
find.
I don't know. I've got Darnell Wright moving to left tackle and Tyson Bagent starting.
That's right. That's why I said, Danikin, you got to come on and help me with these 2 guys. Talking about Darnell Wright to left tackle.
I know it's a hard move, but I mean, all I wanted was the Bears to be
Danikin, you should
more
see
prepared.
Tooch during the draft. He wanted Genty so much that he was willing to give up that ass.
I would have traded up for him, but not if it was outrageous. And then after that, I was like, we got to get Travion Henderson.
See,
we got to get it. Yeah.
Then after that, I was like, how about Ollie Gordon or DJ Giddens, man? Somebody.
That is funny because I think I studied the top 30 running backs, and I never got to Kyle Monangai.
I was like, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt would be great on the Bears. Now he's going to be the starter in the Commanders. I was pounding the table for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Yes,
I ain't gonna lie. I wanted Hampton. I wanted Hampton from.
Me too.
I did too.
Marion Hampton too. I would have taken him.
Yeah,
Hampton and Judkins. Those were my
Hampton went in the first round. Did he? To the Chargers?
No,
he
did. Did he? Oh my gosh! And Henderson in the second,
like
wow.
24th overall or something. Yep. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. Hampton is a stud, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Final shout out after shouting out you three guys, and particularly Danikin for a great show and welcome to the team. But a big shout out to my family for supporting me and allowing us to do all this. My lovely wife Brittany was on the show.
Who's replacing you on the show?
Apparently,
she's got
noticed
Jade Walker better takes than you.
She noticed Jade Walker before anybody else on this show did. Anybody else on this network did, for that matter. All right. She saw that man. She said he's got something about him, and he went out and did what he did last Friday. All right.
You're goddamn right.
If I am alone with my wife and Jade Walker, I might have to leave. All right.
Damn.
Anyway, have a great night, guys. Thank you so much for a wonderful show. It's always fun. I can't wait to do this again.
Absolutely.
And again, what do you got for us?
Man, shout out to you guys for welcoming me with open arms. I appreciate it. The introduction video, I was dying laughing. It was dope. Amazing. It was nice. I liked it. I very much liked it. Thank you very much for it. It's nice to be here, man. It's really nice to be here. This is a nice vibe. It's a nice show. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to this whole football season, the ups, the downs, the roller coaster that we're going to have, the arguments, the agreements, all of it is going to be nice. So I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to the Three Kings. That's the podcast that I do as well. And all of the people in the chat, man, to keep this thing going. I've been watching the chat and Dan Brown in there and, all of these people, Jay Grizz. Man, you guys keep it going, man. It's fun. It makes this enjoyable. Really enjoyable.
Zim and Tooch, I got a trivia question for you. The over/under. No, I should phrase this different. If I told you that Danikin owns over 200 pairs of shoes, would you say you're a fucking liar or I believe that?
I would believe that.
Sim?
Just don't ask why, and I'll say I believe that.
Well, both of you are wrong. He owns over 300 pairs of shoes.
Nice.
Tell us why.
I do. I've been a collector of shoes for quite some time.
Not me.
I've been a collector of shoes for quite some time, man. Like Jordans.
Look at that. So, that is beautiful.
So I have Jordans. I have everything, man. I mean,
nice.
I keep them coming. But I've been collecting them. Like today, I wore a pair of shoes. I actually wore the Jordan Retro 1 Hall of Fame Jordans that came out in 2009. Believe it or not, I still have them. They look brand new. So I take care of them. I keep them. I got them. I'll show you guys pictures one day of all the.
Yeah, nice.
I got cases and everything like that. But I've collected them for years, man. For years.
Look, everybody's got their thing. People think I'm weird for collecting Pokemon cards, but I've got thousands of dollars worth of them. So I completely understand the shoe collection. At least it's something a little more tangible than pieces of cardboard with little cartoon characters on it,
That's what I'm saying. Hey, everybody got their thing, man. Everybody got
their thing. D-Star wants to know what size shoe you wear.
Oh, man. Well, I wear 13.
I was going to guess 13.
It was? Yeah, 13.
Yes. I swear to 13. God. Jay Grizz says you can make a ton of money by flipping sneakers.
Yeah, I've done that before. I give them away. My nephews, they come and take them now because they were like wear size 12s and 12 and a half and stuff. So they're like, oh, let me get a pair. Let me get a pair. Let me get a pair. So I've been giving pairs of shoes away for years now.
Nice.
Damn, that is awesome, bro. Well, I can't wait. We got, you know how Fitz does his movie reviews? We got to do like a shoe review every week with you.
Yeah.
You know? Take a picture of a shoe and tell us because
the newest shoe.
One of the things Danikin shared with me, he's working on a show about shoes and pop culture and so forth.
Nice.
And one of the things he told me that I thought was really fascinating, he says these shoes all have their own stories. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm thinking that. Okay, I'm going to check out that show, bro.
Everybody has their own. I'll tell you one thing. Somebody said to that you can make money off. Absolutely. I remember I bought a pair of their Foamposite Galaxy shoes, right? I didn't even like them. I bought them. I was like, because they were hot at the time. I think they were like $290 at the time. I bought them, and people were selling them online. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait. I waited 2 weeks. I waited 3 weeks. I waited 4 weeks. And then I was like, I'm going to sell them. So I sold them for like $1,000. I went online 3 days later, and there were people selling them for $1,900. I was like,
oh,
just gave away money.
God.
Just gave away money, man.
That is wild. You know, it sounds like my hobby when I was a younger man. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on lap dances. Anyway, that's our show for tonight. Tooch is not saying anything because his wife just walked in the room.
She's been sick with the flu, man. I'm so glad about you. Yeah.
Oh, get well.
Yeah. Tell her we love her and to get well real quick. All right, that is our show for tonight. Tomorrow we have a very special night. It is the premiere of Buffon 55. For those of you who are new to the network, John Buffon is the nephew of Bears great Doug Buffon, who played 15 seasons for the Chicago Bears. John is returning now for his 9th season, along with Alyssa Barbieri, who is the Midwest editor for NFL Wires, USA Today's Wires, and she is the managing editor of Bears Wire, and Danny Shimon, who is the lead draft and game analyst for the Barroom. So they are on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Got a great open for them. I'm going to actually preview it on X sometime tomorrow so that everybody could take a look at it and tell me how wonderful I fucking am. All right, guys. I really enjoyed this time with you guys. I am so psyched that we're going to get to do this every week. Like somebody said, I think it was Zim or Danikin or Tooch. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired. But you said it, and I agree. God bless you all for watching us live and those of you watching on demand. And God bless Zim, Tooch, Danikin, and Fitz. I hope you're feeling better. Take care, everybody.